And now we are here. Hello, everybody.
Yay!
How's
Yay!
everybody doing? We are live for our few viewers uh, on
Why were
this.
we late, Dave?
We were late because of everything being terrible. We were late because I wanted to use OBS instead of XSplit as I promised to do multiple times, and I have everything all set up except it wasn't able to grab the Zoom video. So it seems like it needs to be administrator to grab the Zoom. That might be the problem. I don't know. I'm very upset and sad.
He was very disgruntled because he was very happy until that moment.
Everything was going very well. I was like, "Oh, this is just going to work. This is going to be great." And then suddenly it was just like, "No, it's not. It's not very good at all." Um, so we're back on XSplit for the day, but hopefully next time through we'll get this OBS thing ironed out and we can just move there because it all seems to have a ton more features. It just seems like better.
Yeah, I moved over to
I
OBS
don't know
and
why my camera's always. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I like it that much more, but I can see that if I was to try a little harder, it would give me more that I'd want. The only thing I've been on XSplit for like what, 10 years now? And that's
10
I
years
guess
of
that's
XSplit. Yeah, I'm just cropping out my messy room
I mean that's how they
slowly.
why can't I crop my messy room out?
You're
Look,
not allowed.
I've got my messy nook. I've closed this door so you can't see the messy kitchen.
Now I'll just like make myself a little bigger so that it looks like I'm normal. Now I'm bigger than you now. There we go. You can still see me. It's terrible. You can still see that I have a messy place. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm filthy. It's
Are
the
you
worst.
also needing a haircut, or do you cut your own hair?
Oh no, I definitely have not gotten it. The headset entirely hides my problems.
No,
Not these problems, but like these problems.
I haven't. I've had my hair tied back for so long now.
Oh
I
no.
just untied it. I'm like, wow, this is a lot of hair.
I'm going to need to go on a natural light run in a second because I didn't open my blinds. Hold on. I'm going to do it.
Do it now.
I'm
Do it
doing
now.
it.
I take over. I take control of the
All right,
situation.
chemistry now.
Mm. So I have this really nice beer, and I would recommend it to anyone who is trying to choose a beer at the
All right, what do
supermarket.
we? How far off the rails has this stream gone
Yeah,
since Gemma took over?
I'm
It's a beer stream
advertising my
now.
favorite beer.
It's a beer stream.
It's really good. This.
What is it?
It's tribute. It's not. It's 4.2%, which I guess is kind of
What's
strong.
it a
It's
tribute to?
Cornwall.
Oh,
It's an independent brewer, so it's really good, but you can get it in a lot of places now. But it's
okay.
just a nice flavor. 2 units in this whole bottle.
What's that?
A unit, so that's how they measure. Like they tell you shouldn't drink more than 2 units a day or something. So it's just so that you know if you're drinking too much.
Okay, I
It's
guess.
it's to help you moderate your drinking.
So it's like two
Sometimes,
alcohols.
yeah, sometimes it's difficult, right? Like yeah, so like basically a small glass of wine should be about 1 unit.
Okay. Okay.
But then it's difficult sometimes if it's like a mixed drink or they got all these fancy new drinks in tins and stuff to know actually how alcoholic it is. So rather than just telling you the percentage, which doesn't mean much to a lot of people, especially when they can't work out like the amount versus the percentage and stuff, they tell you how many units are in a bottle.
Okay. So then
It's a
you know
good
if
idea.
if you chug the whole bottle, this is what you're gonna get, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good idea, I think, personally.
Okay. What am I doing? I'm editing my sound options. I'm making sure that Chrome never makes noise. I don't want Chrome to make noise. Oh my god, I'm so
Yeah, like
exasperated with
I
this
get one
stream
alcohol,
issue.
please. You can have
One
one
alcohol,
unit.
yeah.
It
Precisely
is.
one alcohol.
It is a little 1984, right?
Well, it would be if it was like there was some kind of enforcement attached to it. If they were just like if you had a
Oh no,
bracelet
this
that like measured how many units you'd had. Maybe I
yeah, I
should
guess
get this game.
it's to help you, not help the powers that be. Maybe they can attach rationing chips to it in the future, though. Maybe this is the new conspiracy. Like they've done this units thing, so then they can give us like unit ration vouchers. They can only get so drunk.
Mm, I mean,
Bastard. I'm pretty sure I could set up a whole Twitter based on this and have like 1 million followers by the end of the week.
yeah, I don't think there's any like limits here. I think they're like practical limits,
There
like a
are limits.
bartender can't
Your
serve
your
you
country
if.
is the worst country for freedom. You can't walk around and drink on the street.
I think that's because people used to do that and get really violent.
But you're allowed guns, but no drink.
You can't use the gun.
Doesn't make any
Like you
sense.
can
We're all
have
like, we're
them.
about freedom. We don't want our freedom taken away from us. I mean, no country is free until you can drink as much as you want on the street. Change my mind. You can't. You can't.
I
Although we're not allowed to drink on the train anymore.
I'm a little baffled by this this
He's
software
still,
product.
I can just say whatever I want now. He's so angry at his
I'm
like
not angry.
computer.
I'm baffled by this. I'm looking at this PC building simulator, and it seems like what it is I can take my computer and use my computer to simulate putting together another different computer and also simulate troubleshooting that computer in my computer. I I am very confused by this.
So when you're not listening to me when we're talking and stuff, this
Like
is
all the
what's
time.
going on in your head. Like there's a simulation of Dave, and you're troubleshooting the Dave
I
in your simulation of
I
Dave.
don't I don't understand. Like what's the point of bench? Don't you understand that undermines the point of they're so excited that like you can build your own custom PC and then see how it benchmarks. But I'm thinking you're not benchmarking anything if you're doing it in a simulator that definitely isn't like it just has values for the components. That's it. And then it just does some basic math and tells you you got this number.
So you mean by benchmark, you mean like they can't do a bench test on it, right?
Yeah,
So
like
then
you're not actually benchmark. You're not like doing the point of the benchmark is to say how this performs is an unknown.
yes,
Let's
right.
put it in a
I
test
get. Yeah. So
circumstance. It'd be like
to test it in real life,
yeah,
basically.
to test it in any meaningful way. Like I can benchmark software on my computer. I can say how fast will this software run. I don't know for sure. My computer there's a lot of variables that make that a test that's worth doing. But this is not a test that's worth doing. So all right, I'm done. I mean, I get that people enjoy it, and of all the things you can enjoy, to be fair, let me put this in perspective. Of all the things you can enjoy in this world, simulating putting computers together on your computer is not a
Seems
bad thing.
pretty
It
harmless,
seems
mate.
weird, but it's entirely harmless. I don't think anyone is doing anything bad with this software at all. So cool, but I'm just like agitatedly baffled by it, as with everything. Um. Anyways, welcome everybody. We're talking about Mahjong? Question mark. Oh
Mahjong.
no, I didn't prepare
I
our
sent
what
you the
would you just
picture.
you
So I
did,
had a
and I prepared it all in
terrible
OBS.
week.
So
What
the
do you mean to tell them about my terrible week? Is Mahjong related, my terrible week?
sure, and it flickers Gemma's screen because it's exploit is terrible. But tell them about your terrible week while I prepare the what would you
So
describe.
Gemma has been working very hard on a very exciting online event that was
It's
going to
true.
be is going to be held. It will still be held. A whole week of fun online mahjong activities,
This is like a big
hosted
deal.
by the Japan Professional Mahjong League. So legit people who know their strategy, people you can really test your skills on, and it's slightly similar to Dave's disgruntlement at OBS. I made the announcement yesterday morning, and it was up for all of 1 hour. And then suddenly someone came out of the woodwork and said, actually, we've got a massive technical problem and we can't announce it then because we're not sure we can fix the technical problem. I'm like, you what? Are you kidding me? Like, it has been in the works for like 2 months now, this project. And now you tell me there's a serious technical issue?
Hmm. Hmm.
So anyway, if you saw the announcement and then it rapidly got taken down, I think it was up for 60 minutes. So if you're in the States, you probably never saw it. If you're in the UK, you may have seen it
Might not have
for an
seen it.
hour.
I did not see it.
We are, yeah. It's on coronavirus green for some reason. I don't know what was going through my head on when I
I would
made that
never have
graphic.
known if you didn't tell me.
No, really, you look at that and it's so green. You're like, that's the sort of green they use for like biohazard warnings. I don't know what was going through my mind. Yeah. So if you saw that, I'm really sorry. We are going to make an announcement with the dates. We're just waiting for a few
All right.
things to be confirmed because what I don't want to do is make an announcement with dates and maybe you plan. I know I don't expect people are going to take their holidays for it, but you've all got lives. Maybe you want to keep the weekend free. Maybe you want to spend some time with the pros online, obviously.
And
And
synchronizing,
so
like
I want to
synchronizing
make sure
times
I've
across the
given you.
continents.
Yeah. I want to make sure I've given you guys the right dates so that you can plan your lives accordingly. So I'm really sorry for that if you saw it. And rest, I'm hoping we can still hold it on those dates, to be honest. But we need to be sure. What I don't want to do is set those dates, get close to those dates, and then have to move them. And then you guys go, well, I turned down Aunt Vera's picnic party or whatever
No
you
one
kids.
should be having picnic parties. We're still as of
Yeah.
now, where a lot of us are
In
still,
August, we may be allowed to have picnic
we
parties.
might
Okay,
be allowed. We might
we
be.
might be allowed. The virus may have disappeared. Who knows? Anyway, I'm kind of anticipating that some people might have some days off because they haven't been able to go on vacation this year. Maybe they might want to take a day or two off for these events. Anyway, I'll be taking whole time off because I've got to organize it. So anyway, if you did see it, I'm really sorry. If you didn't see it, then you should still like or follow our Twitter and Facebook, and then you'll get the updates. Or we'll put it on the website, obviously, if you are going off social media for all of their terrible, terrible things at the moment.
I've been really strongly considering it at this point. I've been really strongly considering
Yeah.
just being
Yeah,
like,
I was saying to you before we came online that, because I'm moderating quite a lot of groups. And it's at this point, I've always thought that Facebook does kind of leave a lot of the hard work to the moderators of the individual groups. Whereas now I'm really feeling the pain. Like most of the groups now, I've just locked them down. We're not accepting any new members. People cannot post unless I've checked it. And basically, I'm doing all this work. Like, why am I filtering through? Like, it's not even, it's not, I don't know, it's not something that is even worth discussing. It's absolute lies that these bot accounts or these hacked accounts are trying to post. Why am I doing their hard work? They get enough money. Facebook should do some work.
yeah, this is what has always really confused me and baffled me about all of this is like, I mean, Reddit things like Reddit work the same way. Although Reddit, I think, takes a more proactive stance about things like misinformation than Facebook
Mm-hmm.
does. Facebook is completely just hands up, like, I don't know, man, whatever. Like, unless it's a literal murder threat or some, and I mean, well, let's not. There's a lot of things that can be talked about, but at the end of the day, yeah, like you are doing the work to make their platform better, so more
Yeah.
people will want to be on it, and what you get out of it is what, like a website for free, I guess.
Yeah, and then the
Like,
problem is as well, as soon as you let like any of those people sit or post anything for any amount of time, like if you go to probably people don't like American Mahjong who are watching this stream, but if you check out like some of the National Mahjong League pages, you can see that they've been having problems with hacked accounts, accounts that have been active on that Facebook page legitimately for maybe a few years, they've been hacked. Suddenly they're posting stuff up like XXX is a total lie. And then it just destroys the community because everyone starts screaming at each other.
well, that's the thing.
Uh,
It's like a weird. It's a weird win for an attacker, like from the perspective of from the perspective of an attacker who's really looking straight up to cause harm. There's no lose situation there, right? You come into this
it
group,
only has to be up for minutes as well.
you push your propaganda, and first thing that's going to happen, and this is something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. The scary part about this propaganda warfare is that it works on percentages and it works on repeated exposure, right? I can post some kind of extreme total lie. I can post that the sun is a hoax. There is no sun. It's just a really bright spotlight. They fly around the earth to scare us, right? Now, 99.9% of people when I post this are going to be like, wow, that's dumb. Like, whatever, dude. Like, I don't believe the sun is a giant spotlight. But 0.1% of people are going to be like, yeah, yeah. But the problem is, like, each time I do this, each time I expose people to this garbage, that 0.1% of people uh, gets pulled, right? They buy it a little bit. They get pulled in that direction. If I expose it 100 times, suddenly I've got 1% of people. Actually, no, I'm sorry, 10 times to 1%. 100 times is 10%. Now, you're probably never going to get above a certain percentage of people overall with misinformation, but that percentage looks to be a lot higher than we ever thought. And the other option is, and the other thing that can happen is, okay, so I've infiltrated this group, I've posted misinformation, I've damaged the group, right? So
Yeah.
some
Oh yeah.
percentage of the group is going to be like, oh, here's a person like me in my group saying this is true. I immediately believe it because it's someone within a social circle that I am in saying this. So now people are saying, we start to hear that people are saying, some people are saying.
Mm.
And if I damage the group and destroy the group, now I've taken this person who had a social group, who had a stable social group, and I've unmoored them. Their social
Yeah.
group is gone. They're going to look for a new social group. Maybe some percentage are going to drift into my misinformation centered social group that I built. Sun truthers,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be alcohol unit troopers.
It's the more you shake people loose from their foundation, from the things that they're connected to, that hopefully kept them. In the
Yeah.
olden days, I lived in my town. I had my local social groups, and it was very hard for someone far away from me to come to my town and disrupt my town and make the people I heard and spoke to every day suddenly start telling me misinformation or to impersonate one of those people. They couldn't do
Mhm.
it, right? Because
Yeah.
they had to physically get it was very hard. But now it's trivial. It's so
Mm.
easy. You put up a
But
profile picture that looks convincing and normal. You join a group pretending to be a normal person. You start. You can be insidious. You can just be obvious. It doesn't matter.
I mean, Mahjong's curiously on one of the sharp ends of this. Rarely do politics touch the world of Mahjong, but because coronavirus has become politicized, quite a few of the moderators are taking a line that I took for the groups that I moderate, that I'm not allowing people to post meetup events, real life events, until the government advice says that it is safe. Um, Now, I know that I'm not sure what states are opening up in the US, but
No
certainly
one knows.
they've got more problems for the American Mahjong groups because states can do different things, right? It's a
Right.
huge continent. Whereas in the UK, the advice is the advice. It's pretty consistent. Whereas, so most of the moderators in those groups seem to have taken the same tack that I have. It's like you can't post, you know, links to meet up and organize in real life because the general advice is, and especially Mahjong. There was a big super spreader event in Bridge, in fact.
Oh God.
Um, I think 80 people got sick just from one bridge event. And Mahjong is the same kind of risk level. Yeah, sure, you might play with your three friends and you may get away with it. But let's say you went to a Mahjong tournament, you could conceivably have a super spreader event.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
you're going to be in a close space with other people. You're going to be touching the same thing, which makes it even worse. But even just sitting in, just being that close to
just
people for a long time
directly looking at another
is
person.
a risk. It's a big
It's a
risk.
risk, right? So, a lot of people are taking the same stance. Like, well, Mahjong is not life or death. This is not essential. There's many other things that are more essential. Even seeing your grandmother is more essential than playing Mahjong. That's Mahjong is not the important thing here. So lots of people are taking that kind of hard line that, we're going to wait and see what happens. We're going to see what the risks are. We're going to see what the advice is. We're going to see what we can do to mitigate it. But suddenly, there's all these people on the Facebook group screaming at this poor moderator saying, you're a libtard, you hate America, you hate Trump. And I'm like, dude, healthcare doesn't, viruses
It's.
don't care who you voted for. Like, it
I
just
mean,
doesn't.
it's true. Yeah, even just speak everything is dangerous. But no, that I mean, here, this has been incredibly politicized. It's unbelievable how
Yeah. I mean,
wrong
we've
it
been kind of
is.
lucky in that respect, in that, but even then, it's starting to come. We're starting to adopt. There's more and more people say, oh, it's not really happening. Um,
It's baffling to me how hard it is to. I don't even. I mean, I can talk about this
don't know why
forever.
you take a risk for mahjong. I can see why you take risks for some activities. Mahjong, like I love it.
Well,
I've done it for most of
it's
my
not
life.
about
It's what.
taking risks for mahjong for these people. No one cares about mahjong like that. I don't think. None of these people are straight up thinking in their mind, I need to play mahjong so badly that I don't care about coronavirus. The politicization is much more like, wouldn't our economy be doing so much better if all these plebs stopped being scared of the virus and started just going back to work? That's the fundamental. And then there's a lot of propaganda that goes along with it to be like, oh, whatever. Everyone's just trying to hurt our. I don't know. I don't.
It's
Again,
crazy. I mean, I don't know. I've been giving a lot of thought as well because even when the advice says that we can have these kinds of meetups again, then I still think there are things that we can do as
mhm.
responsible event organizers to mitigate
And
risks.
there's going to be people who just aren't comfortable with it. Straight up, they're just
Yeah.
going to say, I'm not okay with coming to a meetup like this." And I respect that. I might, and that's where there might be a difference of opinion. I might be at a point where I would say, okay, we're in a world where I think it's okay, and some people might not feel that way. They might not feel ready or
Oh
comfortable.
no, and
This would be a
everyone should
legitimate
take.
disagreement. We just would not agree, but that's
Yeah.
okay. We can, but you got to be
Everyone
prepared
should
for
take
that.
the decision that's right for them.
Yeah.
Whilst the advices don't meet up, that makes it easy for the government advices. You're not allowed to do it, so you're not allowed to do it. But certainly when we are allowed to do it, there's things that can happen at the event that will make it safer for everyone. And what's the worst that happens if coronavirus isn't as potent, or someone isn't carrying it in
So
my
this
event?
would be
Like
bigger.
you're just less
A
likely
big
to
thing.
get sick. Like shit.
Yeah.
Especially when we look at things like conventions and stuff. Every time we went to PAX East, people got sick.
Oh yeah, I mean those conventions, everyone knew. I mean, everyone always knows, right? But it was cold and flu, not something this deadly. But everyone knows that those conventions, you're around so many
Common
people
flu
in
is a
close
real thing.
space. Yeah, con flu. Like it's possible. It's very possible. I actually did not get sick from those conventions ever because I'm very strong,
Dave
but
is strong. I'm one of
incredibly
those
strong.
weakling children that if there's something going around, I get it for sure. Like, that's it. Like if someone just sneezes like 2 rooms down from me, I'm like, oh no, I'm ill now.
Living in my world of graph paper. So another exciting Dave news. I got this sweet boom arm. So I decided I was going to redo how I mount my microphone. So now it's on this. I got a Rode PSA-1 boom arm, and so now I can like just move it around and swivel it, and it's great. And I don't have to have the stand next to me, and like I don't have to stream all like careful to not hit
The
the
question
stand.
is when you're gonna have a following number that matches your setup.
Follow. Oh, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna keep buying shit. That's what I do. I just buy more shit.
My favorite thing that happened on the news this week was like some politician was sat there. She was literally sat at one of the most amazing gaming setups I'd seen. Like she'd obviously borrowed her son's like Twitch setup.
Oh,
She
yeah,
was
he
there,
must have just been like, "Oh, I can set you up for this," and then
yeah,
like,
she was there in like a big gaming chair, and she had like a proper mic, and then she had a green screen behind her.
wow. But then again, I got to be really honest. It's been driving me nuts
Mm.
how much people have not. As someone who's working from home,
Mm.
get shit together, people. Get a microphone that doesn't sound like tinny garbage. Have some discipline. Mute it. You got 5 screaming kids in your house because a lot of you do.
Mm.
Mute your mic. It's not hard. You click. You just mute it when you're not talking, so everyone doesn't have to hear your screaming kids. You got terrible internet. Pay for some better damn internet. Stop dropping off every 2 minutes. Like, come on. Come on. Like, have some standards about how you present yourself in an online meeting. And this isn't even the joke of like, oh, wear some pants. I don't care if you're not wearing pants if I can't see it. Like, that's fine. Do whatever you want there. But like, sound decent. Be able to hear me.
The problem is though, you can't hear how you sound to the other person.
You can if you take 5 minutes. I can use OBS and XSplit to record myself, which I've done many times to see if is this decent. Can people hear this microphone? Is it picking up right? Like little things like that, just to make sure it's okay. And I'm not a pro, and this isn't a pro setup, but like I can at least make sure that I sound okay. You can hear me, and like it's okay. Like
Oh,
if
Nelthrum.
Skype's dropping you, no, they're like
Yeah,
that's Skype's
Nelthrum. That's
problem.
why I
But
don't use
like
Skype anymore. That's made by the devil.
I mean, it just drives me nuts when people get on and they have this tinny little BS mic and you can't hear them, and all you can hear is their dog yapping or their kid wailing, and it's just like,
You haven't had to do a yoga session where people can't seemingly turn off their bloody microphone.
oh,
Like,
just mute yourself. It's not shameful if you know, and I know you're trying. If you have to talk and you unmute, and while you're talking you can hear something, like fine, all right, that's life. Like I'm
I
not.
don't know what is in yoga. You don't need to talk at all. Just
Oh yeah,
mute.
yoga's easy. All
I
right.
don't have I haven't muted the entire time. I don't even say goodbye. I just wave and then I click off.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, just get an Ethan, or have not the worst Wi-Fi. I'm so tired of hearing people be like, "Oh, my Wi-Fi dropped. Oh, my Wi-Fi dropped." Like, it's not hard. It costs a little money. It's not trivial, but frankly, like the people I'm talking to should not be worrying about paying for decent Wi-Fi at this point. So it's like, come on, just get it together. It's not hard. You'll notice my Wi-Fi never drops. My wired internet never drops. It's not that crazy because I set this up right 10 years ago and have never touched it since. It's not hard. All right,
Why?
this is
You
Dave's
know what? This is
complaining
why I
time.
miss my housemate. He always used to sort out all my shit for me. So
Yeah.
you need to come and visit me and sort out all
Okay,
my.
I'll do it. If you do it right, it just sits there and works forever. It's not hard. I'm still using an HP ProCurve switch I bought in 2008. It has sat and done nothing wrong for 12 years. All right, let's talk about Mahjong.
Marry that. That sounds like a good relationship.
It's a great relationship. I know it's great. I paid $100 12 years ago,
Oh, wow.
and it's been perfect.
What
Absolutely
number did
perfect.
I give you? I forgot. We're gonna play. We can do some mahjong. We can do that.
Yeah, we got
We
this. What
spoke
would you discard? Now we got the actual
about
Mahjong.
ourselves normal. Well, no, we managed to segue into mahjong on Facebook.
So I'm
Quite
looking. I'm looking up. I'm gonna put this up in
right.
front of me.
So today one is from this book. So this is Setokuma's book.
Ooh, I like him.
Yeah, he used to be the big cheese a few years ago. He's not. I don't think he's quite as popular as he used to be.
He should
But
be popular.
he's a super sweet guy, and he's just so smart. But he's a great mahjong player. Anyway, the book is called Mahjong: Techniques to Winning.
Okay, that's a better title than that 220 IQ
I
stuff.
don't
I got
know.
to be honest.
Yeah, do you know what though? I really am distressed by the cover of this. It looks like something I'd have done when I was in school on a
It's
computer.
very patriotic looking to me. I like that it's got the bald
Really?
eagle.
Oh no, because he's a predator, isn't he?
Oh, he's gonna eat the sparrows.
Yes. But for some reason there are mahjong tiles falling from the sky as he
Wait,
flies.
are they? Oh yeah, that's yeah. Wow, they really gave an intern 20 minutes. They were
Yeah,
just
and
like,
I don't know what
book
the
cover,
lens flare
go.
is for either. Like, what is that?
Yeah, can we redesign these covers? Can we? There's so much we can do for
I'm
them.
not even sure if it took 20 minutes, mate.
No, this was literally just like stock art. I love Cedric Gomez. For the record, this is not
Yeah,
any negative about him. I feel like they did just give this to an intern and they gave them like 10 minutes being like, look, we need a book cover for this. Just go and we'll hire you or something. Hello,
yeah.
Galaxy Press. Welcome. Are bald
Hey,
eagles tell? I don't know much about bald eagles. I know they're symbolic, obviously, for us Americans, but I don't know them much about them as the animal. So I'm looking at this.
I assume. I mean, I assume they're predators. I assume that's what they were going for on this book.
I guess
I don't
I
think
wouldn't
that
be.
he was making a commentary on
No, I don't
American.
think this is political commentary at all.
Yeah.
But all right. So
But,
let's look at this.
okay, right. Okay, so this is from his book. So important point here. It is competition rules, so no ipatsu and no uradora. So
Okay, that is
no
important to know,
unbroken
actually.
and no is there a translation for uradora? No
Unterdora.
untadora. Ubadora and
Oh,
untadora.
what are the dots? Question is, what are the dots?
Oh, the dots over the tiles, that means that they've been drawn and discarded straight
Okay,
away.
so tiles with dots over them were discarded. They didn't come out of the hand. They were just immediately, I don't need this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Let me.
this is okay. So let's see. Let me do my. I haven't read any of this review. Ooh, what's the question?
Yeah, yeah. Well, wait a second. I'm just double checking that.
Yeah,
Yes, okay. I'm
Tsumakiri. Yes,
just
yes.
double checking he didn't use a notation that was this opposite to everyone else's. It's
Oh,
always
that's true.
so.
I like the little samurai image at the top there.
Yeah, yeah. So here, the green dragons just come down from the player opposite. And
Okay.
the question is here: do you call it?
Do you call it? So, let me do my now. Now, usually with
Yeah,
these images, Gemma has looked at them and I have not. So this is
I
this is
haven't looked
me
at this one either.
giving this my kind of first look.
This was the
What do I
exact page
see?
I'd gotten to read, so I'm enjoying it from beginning. Yeah, Tsumogiri glossy press, exactly. The dots mean Tsumogiri.
What do I see? So I see me. What is in my okay? Well, first table situation, right? I am north. I'm not the dealer.
Yeah,
I am ahead by a lot. I've got a
tiny
lot
amount.
of points here. It's
Mm,
south two. So the game's mostly over. So I'm coming into the end game in a pretty good spot right now.
mm, mm, mm.
Now everyone else is actually fairly close together. A good hand by any of them could change their placement.
Mm.
So my first broad read here is the other three people at the table are going to be much more prone to fight. They're going to want to
Mm.
do something because, especially between the player across from me and the player to my right, like they're both very close for second. So they're going to be very inclined to be hustling, to be making something happen. But let's look at the discard pools here. The discards of the player to my right don't look extraordinarily shocking to me.
Mm-hmm.
We got rid of North, 1, North as drawn, fine, 9, Chun, 8 as drawn, meh, and then East. So they look like they've drained their hand of a lot of edge tiles that they don't feel
Yeah,
like they need.
it's
That
gonna be
East
like
coming
a
out probably was their last hope of maybe getting a Pong of East because that would have let them go fast. But that also kind of implies if they were holding on to that hope for so long, they might not have anything else really exciting going. Because it's South Round, right? So that East is useless to everyone but them.
Yeah, exactly.
So East does not look like they have a lot going on. What about across from me? I see 9 pin West, Chun, North, 9. Then they drew the other Chun, and then the Hots as they drew it. Not seeing a lot of hot action going on there. Or it's such white hot action. They're getting everything they need to such great degree. But really, eh?
I mean, they've just thrown a green dragon out. There's none on the table, suggesting they're starting to narrow it down, and they think that it's okay to throw something a little bit dangerous.
A little bit, but it was also as drawn.
It
So
wasn't,
it's
yeah,
also
but
very possible that it just they obviously have enough going on that they're not thinking I better hold this green dragon unless someone else wants it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they're probably not in Nowheresville. Um, Now the player to my left is a little more interesting.
Yeah.
We drew this 8 pin as drawn. Then we
Mhm.
cut the 2 and the 1 pin, which implies that the 2-1 is a bad shape we don't want, and we have some better shape that we're replacing it with. Then a 2-so, and then a 4-mon, and then a 9-pin, all out of the hand. The
Mhm.
player to my left might have something going on here. I would say this is not weird enough to make me think, oh dear, but it is like, okay, they're getting a move on. They're making something
Mhm.
happen. So we have from the chat, calling doesn't seem worth the trouble here. I'm putting the word worth in there, so tell me if I'm wrong. But I
Yeah,
think it's
Abkarnist also thinks that we could make those green dragons safe tiles.
yeah, exactly. Like now that the green dragons come out, there's only one more green dragon in the game, right? So those
Hmm.
two are very. Who's going to be on a Tonki wait for a green dragon only at this point in the game? I'm going to
Yeah, I
say
messaged you by the way with the end results. We can put that up
okay.
afterwards if you wonder what that beep beep message was.
I feel like wait, where'd you message this to me
The Discord.
in Discord? Okay.
Yeah, but we can put it up after. Yeah. The other thing of concern is, and when you're checking these things, is I would check where the Dora are, and you can't see
Hmm.
any. You've got one in
We've
your
got
hand.
one.
Player to our left has thrown a Tuso, which is right next to the Dora, which would make me concerned that he has Dora in his
He
hand.
might have two, and just
Yeah.
be like, well, it's not turning into a sequence now because it's got to be a pair at least.
Yeah, he's got two, or he may have locked it in. He may have 2, 3, 4. So he may have a Dora. I suspect he have
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
Dora. The other two, I agree with you.
So
I'm
where's
not
our so
particularly worried about them. But yeah, the question is, do you call the green dragon?
yeah, I think I agree with our chat here, and I would say it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Like I'm ahead already. If I
Mhm.
really wanted to like pressure the heck out of the table, I could say, oh, I can make something really fast.
Mm.
But it depends on the other players at the table and how they'll respond to that pressure.
Mm.
And it could leave me in a very vulnerable position.
Yeah, you're really locking yourself in then.
Yeah.
Would you call the second green dragon that came down? This isn't in the book, by the way. I'm just curious if anyone would call the second one that came down, or whether you're like, that's it. If I can't draw this myself, I am just throwing away these dragons.
Yeah, I agree. No,
Mahjong backer says no, no to the yeah.
see, I think it depends on where my hand was by then. If I was able to call that second green dragon into Tempai, if I was able to put myself at that point where I was able to shut the game down and be done with it,
Hmm.
then I probably would if I'd gotten to that point. Just because
Yeah.
that's a lunge maybe worth making because pushing the game. It also depends on what the dealer looks like they're doing or who else
Yeah.
is in reach. Obviously the situation is going to change anything. If any other player at the table looks threatening when that second green dragon came down, I probably would just let it go. If it looked
Yeah.
like everyone was kind of floundering and not really able to get somewhere, and I had the option to get Tempai and maybe push the game forward,
Hmm.
maybe I'd consider that because that pushes me closer to winning in a very active way.
Yeah. So, like, if example rest through the next green dragon, you wouldn't go for it straight away.
If they do it, oh no, I'd just be happy to have my safe tiles.
Seto Kuma agrees. He says that your hand can continue without the necessity to call.
Ugh.
So there's
Hmm.
actually a lot that's going on in your hand anyway that you don't need to
Oh,
to call that.
let me save this image so that we can
Yeah.
show it to
So you
people.
can then look at the final one. So, and this is something that I definitely, I definitely struggled with at the start. Was do I need to call this? Like you get into a mentality where, if I call the green dragon, if I call a dragon pawn, then I've locked in a Yaku and I can proceed. But it's not the only way to progress your hand. Yeah, and he says as well, it's better to see what happens. You can use those green dragons to get yourself out of a tight spot. Actually, if you just don't throw in, you're likely to win here.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There's
If you don't do anything, what's going to happen? Even if a player at the table wins a Mongon hand off another player at the table, or
yeah,
sumos it even, like you're
you've
still
got
ahead.
you you've got a lot of points ahead. The other three could just skirmish them, between themselves for second place. You might not need to get involved. If it's an easy victory, then why, take it. But this actually isn't that quick here.
No, it's not that fast a hand. That's why I was saying, like, if you're calling into ready, that's one thing. But this, you'd be calling. You need to call like once or twice more, even to get ready. That's a lot of work to be doing to get what will be 1,000 points. It won't make your lead really any better. It'll be
Yeah,
2,000 because you have Dora in there, but like, it's not really going to improve your position by a meaningful quantity.
yeah. And if you call it, you're going to have probably a shoddy wait.
Yeah,
with the 2 7s and the 2 8 pins there. Or
you'll probably be in a weird spot.
in a horror situation with the waiting on that 4 bamboo, which is unlikely to come out because it's next to the Dora.
So let's see how this came out, right?
Yeah, let's have a look.
All right.
So
So
I've
hey,
kind of
look.
said, I've kind of says unless a Yakuman pops out off out of nowhere, these hands don't suggest that. No,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think.
I'm not seeing any Insta Yakuman potential
Yeah,
here at all. He went to reach on them. Well, he got himself into a three-sided weight.
yeah, he got himself in a three-sided way. He's got the green dragon. He's got a Dora in there.
Yeah, he drew that. He got that four, and he got the last green dragon, and he got the good draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got some pretty good draws there.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, and at that point, you're not going. Oh, yeah, you could fold it, I guess. What are the other people doing when he reaches? Everyone is still looking pretty uneventful at the point that he
yeah,
declared.
like again, I think that follows kind of what I was saying. Is it doesn't look like anyone's. It looks like everyone's kind of floundering, not really getting anywhere
Yeah.
because we're not seeing any exciting middle tiles being thrown out. Yeah, and with the three-sided weight, it's like you might as well. You'll probably sumo. He does. He sumos it for pretty much.
And the West player folds immediately. Um, yeah, I guess the South player looks like they're also folding. And
Because but this is also
they're all
probably
folding. They
all
all
coming together.
folded.
They probably all fold because they think if the leader, if the person in first place is going into reach now,
Yeah.
they've got a strong hand.
Yeah.
If I deal into a strong hand, I'm going to be bumped into fourth place
Yeah.
immediately.
I mean,
So
basically, what the dealer is saying is fold or I'll take you down.
yeah,
And yeah, which is strong because really at this point with the dealer with that kind of I mean here he's got when he wins his hand he gets 66,000, but before he's got 58,000. With that kind of lead he can pay a couple of thousand and it won't make any difference.
yeah. I'm moving my camera to be more on my face. Yeah, he can afford it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So strong play there
Mm.
by Seto Kuma. But it's true. Like, and then if it didn't work out, he has so much safety. He can
Yeah.
just walk away.
So I thought this was quite nice because I think my thinking is right when I look at these situations that I want to push these hands fast. You know, I want to end each hand so we can go to the end and I'll be the winner because I'm on top. However, when I think like that, then that's when I call things like the green dragon. I
Mm.
think in a game situation, I might likely think, oh shit, I can finish this fast, call the green dragon without really considering that my hand is actually not that fast and not that good at the moment, and not giving it that time to just create itself a bit better with the safe tiles that I have with those green dragons to back out if it does get a little bit scary.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's. I had a lot of. I played a bunch of mahjong last night. I had a lot of interesting situations where the questions were like, "Do I call this hand or do I just let it be?"
I mean,
Um,
being honest, if you were in a real game, do you think you'd have called those green dragons?
Probably not, based on what I've been doing lately, how I've been playing lately. I think I would
Okay.
have at least let the first one go for sure.
I definitely get cocky when I'm top stack.
Um, it does depend, but it also depends on the other people. For example, sometimes, and this is rude of me. Sometimes I'll do it because people get nervous, and they don't evaluate the table. They
Hmm.
see that I'm about to win, and then they all go, "Oh no, oh no," and then they start calling because they think they need to win first.
Yeah.
And they'll and sometimes in some table situations with some other players, calling that green dragon will push them to making a 1,000 point hand. I'd love
Mm-mm.
1,000 points hand. I'll deal into 1,000 in that situation. I'll
Yeah.
switch back.
Especially if it's not if it's not the dealer, it's easy. Then
Oh
you've
yeah, yeah, go for it,
saved
man.
1,000 points
Whatever.
to push it forward.
Like that's why I would deal the Haku early with a hand like this. I could see myself very early dealing the Haku, not because I want to bury it, but because I'm hoping some other player is so anxious to make their quick win and jump from, for example, third to second with a cross player, right? So anxious to grab his little 1,000 points that he just calls it, and once he calls it, he's lowered the value of his hand so much. Their hand,
Yeah.
I should say, I shouldn't be gendered, but they've lowered the value of their hand so much then I'm now happy. Go take whatever you want. Go make 1,000 points. Do whatever you want. That's great.
Yeah, I
That's great
mean,
for me.
interestingly, I probably would have buried that white dragon before that 4 pin.
Hmm. Hmm.
But also holding a 4-pin without a friend is dangerous too.
Yeah, yeah, that could have been burying the 4-pin. But again,
Mm.
this really all depends on the table and how people are going to react.
Mm.
Um, and frankly, what their skill level is at reacting. Some people are very good at like snaking their hands around things they think are dangerous and rebuilding them and reconfiguring them, and that can be really dangerous when you make like a long lunge like that for an open hand. That's not
Yeah,
necessarily going to get anywhere. So that also depends, I
that's
think,
a
on
that's a
people
good
too.
way of thinking of like a long lunge. It is.
Yeah, it's a very. I mean, the lunge in my mind would be, it's late in the game. I call the hots now. I'm tempai. I've made my lunge. Right. This is my
Yeah.
shot. I'm calling. I'm opening my hand, but I'm good. A long lunge is calling early, where I'm like, all right, I'm calling the hots because I'm going for it, and it's all the way down the hall.
Okay, switch the point situation then. Let's say that you were dealer
Hmm.
with 22,000 points. Would you then call the Green Dragon?
With only 22.
Hmm. But you're the last dealer.
Wait, hold on.
So pretend that that you and the South player switch points and positions.
Okay, so I am now.
You're now east with 22,000. Person opposite you now is
Oh, you're
58,000.
looking at the end numbers.
What?
No, I'm looking. Okay, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. This is my fault. Here we go. Cool. So I am across the table from myself in this diagram.
Yeah,
I am
you've got
south.
this hand. You've got this hand, but you're in the east position.
I would. Oh, that would be tougher because
That is tougher, right?
the
Because you want
2,000 points in that case. I think it
Mm.
would still be south too.
But
In that case, those 2,000 points get me into second place
and you keep your dealership if you win.
if I'm the dealer. I might want to go fast. I might still wait for the second hots though.
Yeah, I see that in that situation, I probably wait for the second
I might wait for the. I might still
and
wait for the
call it.
second one.
Even if the very next player discards the Green Dragon, then I'd call it.
Because this hand, like, there's so much good that could happen in this hand.
Didn't have to. We're just pretending
I'd
that I'm.
almost I'd almost sooner throw out the extra 7 and 8 pin.
Hmm?
Well, you're not going to get Ipeco. Like 7 7 8 8 is a little exciting. It's like, ooh, maybe Ipeco, but the nines are dead. It's not happening unless you draw two
You're
sixes.
never going to get Ipeco.
No.
People put too much value on that hand.
Yeah, so you could get rid of an extra 7 and an extra 8.
Hmm.
You can get rid of the Haku, and suddenly you got a nice standard. It won't be Pinfu with the Hatsas in there, but a nice standard hand with a 2-sided weight, maybe a 3-sided weight. I mean, there's potential. There's enough potential that I wouldn't want to throw the hots unless I had to. And I also don't want. You also have the option to do some tricksy stuff. So you can extend your lunge a little bit. So if I'm
Hmm.
dealer, and let's say I pong that 8 pin, and I throw the Haku, right?
Okay.
It's very possible people's thoughts are going to be, "Ah, oh, man, this dude's just trying to do a quick Tanyao." And if they're thinking, "Oh, this dude's trying to do a quick Tanyao," the last hots is much more likely to come out.
I think that's a dangerous tricksy game to play because if people catch you doing that once, they're not
Well,
going to
you've
miss anything
already
you
decided for whatever reason that you're going to make the long lunge, that you're going to be doing a multi-call hand, you're going to be going the distance. At that point, now if I call the, let's say I call the 8 pins, but then I call the 1 mon, now that hots is never coming out. Everyone knows that I've got nothing but Fampai or something like that, and they're not giving it to me unless they're really dense.
Mm. I think the problem with your plan is that your discard pool here is
Mm,
not very
it's
hot for
not
the
right.
tempo
No,
plan.
the four and the 7 do not look good for that at all.
I think if I were the dealer here and I was on 22,000 points, I probably would skip the first Green Dragon but call the second one. I couldn't risk losing that Yaku.
I would throw. I'm kind of. I definitely throw the 8 first because you're right. There's 7s left and there's no 8s left. But then eventually, my mind would throw the 7. But it depends on what happens.
But yeah,
Hmm.
calling is complicated.
Calling. Everyone thinks calling is so easy. Calling is rough.
It's really, there's a lot of things you need to think about and compute right there and then, which is why, when I was streaming more regularly, I'd make the decision
Hmm.
right there, not when it happened. I'd already be go, okay, do I need to call the green dragon? Should I be calling the second one? Do I call anything? I will already have made the decision, 3 or 4 discards before it happens so that I'm ready for it. Because it is a lot to compute and work out. And at least if you've made decisions and things change, you can adjust those decisions. Whereas if you're having to make the decision right, that's when people get to the point where they're like, stop, wait, can you let me think? You
Yeah,
don't want to
that's
make you don't want to make people you don't want to make people think don't want to warn people
oh
that
my
you're
god.
thinking about pawning that green dragon because you'll never see another one again
Oh yeah,
then.
they'll know. They'll all know that you're the
If
one
you've told
thinking
everyone
about it.
away, you just take it then. Okay, it's just yours at that point.
Yeah,
Always
it's
calm.
that
Bye,
that's a rough
Mr. Maniac.
situation. Always con. I'm not dignifying that Wister Maniac. I will not. I will not respond. So last night was a good mahjong night for me. Um, I think it was like first, second, and then technically a third, but it doesn't really count because someone had to leave mid game, so we just kind of noodled through.
No,
But it
okay.
was it was a good time. We had
Good.
I had some dumb stuff. I think I managed to make like reach Chitoi half flush Dora 2. It was just
Mm.
dumb. There were a lot of dumb garbage. Exciting garbage, but dumb garbage.
It is nice when it comes together
It
finally.
is. It really is. It just makes me happy.
But that's why Mahjong keeps us coming back for more. It is an abusive relationship. Because every now and then it takes us out to dinner, buys us some flowers, we have a
It
nice
does that. It never does that for me. I've never gotten flowers.
and then 2 days later, you're crying in a corner going, why did I ever start this?
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Um, what else we had? We had a conversation that was a little near and dear to my heart.
Thanks, Mr. Maniac.
Um, I don't know. I want to like. I feel like this is an interesting topic, but I want to address it in a way that does not. Um, what's it called? That does not personally identify anyone involved in the story because I don't want to.
Anonymous story. You've
It's an
anonymized.
anonymous story.
All names have been changed.
All names, all names. Um. Oh wow. So it was a story about someone playing on a particular online service. That doesn't have to be anonymized. Um,
I don't think it is
but it's a story
anonymous.
that I think many of us have actually heard. So it's a fairly common story. Is they'll play on this online service, and the response you'll get is, "Wow, I can't believe all these other players just did this. Like, what was
Mm-hmm.
that person doing? I can't believe these people are doing this. I can't believe this is happening. Why is this? How can this be?"
Hmm.
Um, and it reminds me of one of my favorite quotes, uh, which is it is possible the Axeman. I don't know everyone's Discord to Twitch linkages, but I'm trying to not be. I'm just trying to not be particular because it's not about a particular story. It's about just a broad concept. It does remind me of one of my favorite quotes. I always just found one of my favorite quotes of if everyone else had played better, I would have won. One of the best quotes. Not an untrue quote,
it's, it's the most factual thing I've heard.
but like
All
we've all been there, right? We've all been playing in some environment, and this is a little less specific. We've all been playing in some environment where, I mean, we had a joke, a fairly rude joke where we would describe a game as Captain Asshole's Deal-In Factory, where one player is Captain Asshole and they spent the whole game dealing obvious tiles, and the game becomes less mahjong and more who can take advantage of this player who will deal anything and never think about it.
Mm,
And that it does definitely change the game wildly when a
yeah.
player in the game is doing. And I mean, it's almost like a disconnect in many online services as well.
You know,
Like
I
once
played
someone
a game
disconnects,
exactly like that this morning. Like this, he just throw anything. I could do anything, and he'd throw anything.
yeah, it's like, okay, sure, fine, whatever. I'll wait on just the Dora. Oh, you threw it. Awesome. Oh, you threw the red one. How much
It
better?
was the fact that every time I reached, he'd throw my winning tile directly after my reaching, like Dora. I was like,
And I think um, it's important to be aware that what happens in environments like that is high variance.
Mm.
And it's important to be aware of this concept of variance. If
Mm.
I am a random number generator who sits at the table and just discards random tiles from my hand every discard, right?
Mm.
I've made the player to my right very happy. They actually get more advantage out of that than anyone else because they can just call my tiles more than anyone else can.
Mm.
But overall, what I've really done is I've just made it so that the game's going to be swingier. Whoever
Yeah.
wins might win bigger. Whoever takes the most advantage of me is going to get more points. Like I've upped this variance, and
Mm.
sometimes someone will do very well, and sometimes someone will do very poorly, and that's the important thing. And this is what makes it really hard a lot of
Mm.
times. And this is going to sound a little elitist, but I'll just say it because I'm a rude man. This is what makes it hard sometimes to talk to people about skill, because
Mm.
skill in mahjong is not based on I won that game with 1,000,000 points, or I lost that game by busting with negative 1,000,000 points. Like that's really not what measures skill.
Mm.
Skill is about consistency. And so
Mm.
when your games are plus 100, minus 100, plus 100, minus 100, and I don't think anyone's that swingy, but like if that's what your games are looking like, um, you are probably not playing as skillfully as someone who has maybe less extremely positive when they're positive, but more consistently positive results. The player who's plus 20, plus 5, plus
Yeah.
15, plus 60, plus 5, plus 15, minus 9, like that player is much more consistently ranking well and ending positive. And that's where you're going to start seeing skill.
Mm.
I've told everyone like Mahjong is a game of averages. It's a game of aggregates. It's a game where having a 40% first place rate is really good.
Yes.
Like if 40% of your games you come in first place, you're doing incredibly.
Yeah, that's
Um,
yeah.
and what makes it really hard, I think, for people to see this is when you play in environments where you have these highly variant players. And if you're one player at the table and there are three players at the table and they spend all game dealing into each other, and you're like, well, okay,
Mm.
it's hard. It's hard to eke out positive results in environments where everyone's going crazy.
Mm.
I think if the thing that I really wanted to bring up out of this is the pool of players you play with and the skill base of the players you play with is going to have a huge impact on the game. And I think it just fundamentally is true that if you want to not see players doing wild stuff, you have to find a skilled play group to be in.
Mm.
And that wild stuff will, and some people, I mean, frankly, me included, it can be fun to play in a pool where everyone's just doing whatever, and you can
Oh
go for your
yeah, you've
crazy
got a
hands,
beer
and
in
you can
your
make
hand.
it.
Yeah.
And in fact, that's part of the reason I don't really love playing online that much, because playing online kind of bends my personal attitude more towards, yeah, let's go for the crazy hand, maybe it'll happen. Like I just personally don't focus as much as maybe I should, because I'm thinking, oh, let's just go for it, maybe this will come together.
Yeah, I'm
um,
definitely like that. Yeah.
but like you want to try to find high skill player groups, because even though you won't be going for the wild hands every time, you'll really learn a lot about how to make the most out of every tile you get, and what the best way is to act with every tile that comes through your hand. um so
Hey.
that's kind of the broad. Hey, about it. It's true. I agree with Manic. I feel like for me, again, I'm not anti playing online, but I think for me personally, I focus a lot more when I play in person.
I do. Yeah, especially when it's we're all like, we listen to music whilst we work. We have the TV on in the background. If you're a freelancer
Maybe you
like
do.
me, Dave probably doesn't. But I spend all my time on my own. I need the TV, otherwise I go crazy. But it's not conducive to a good mahjong environment. Like I can translate because whilst I've got the TV on the background, not all kinds of things, but there's a lot of text I can translate. I don't really have to think fully. So mahjong, you really have to be. Is it just look at this question we had to do? Do you call? Think of how many things we had to think about. If you are not completely focused, and being able to play in real life completely focuses you
Yeah.
in a way that you've got your phone beeping when you're playing online, or your mates chatting to you. Even though you think you're focused, you won't be.
It's hard. It's hard. Again, in no way am I saying there's anything wrong with playing online. I'm only saying that
No,
for
you've
my
got to get your
for
fix where
me
you can, especially
personally, I have
nowadays.
trouble with it.
Yeah, especially nowadays. Yeah, online is the only option for all of us at the moment.
Yeah. Right now.
You are in good company now. I haven't played Mahjong in real life since February.
Ugh,
That's a long time for me. If you think I've been playing this game for 14 years now,
that's a lot of
I've never
time.
gone this long without playing Mahjong. I
Oh my
think I'm
god,
going funny.
this is crazy.
Hi, Alabasti.
I love us. Yeah,
Online
it's
is
tough when it's
option.
the
Yeah.
only
Yeah,
option.
for a lot of people, it is the only option, and some of the great professional players are more online than they are in real life. But then that's why I like the European Mahjong Association tournaments and those circuits, because a lot of people can only play online. They live in buttfuck nowhere, Germany, and they can't get a group together. They may be the only person under 50 in the whatever 50-mile radius. Whereas that's why it's nice, when you have those weekend events where you can go and you can make a real, occasion of it. And I think America is starting to. It was certainly starting to get that. It has been over the last few years. This year was looking particularly positive, but then COVID ruined everything, as always.
Yeah,
I hate COVID.
I don't care for COVID. I gotta be
No,
honest. I don't care for COVID.
so sucky. We playing some Mahjong then, Dave?
We could. I was looking at some of the mounts here. Um, and like,
Oh, Alabasti, that'd be great if you could teach some people.
yeah, no, that'd be
Yeah,
super
like
great. No,
board
that
game places are already, you can rent out a space. Because isn't that basically where you play in New York as well
yeah, we have
sometimes?
we have a space. Although we were looking at doing something more exciting, but
Yeah, but damn you, COVID.
I know.
But yeah, Dave was just like a space in a board game place.
I'm looking at this FF14
When I
fatter
was in
cat
when I
mount.
was
Do I
in
want to
London,
buy this?
we were really lucky that we had we used a unused restaurant on Sundays because they didn't open on Sundays, so we got to use the space for minimal amounts of money.
Hold on, I need to see if I want. Do I want to buy a mount? Probably not. They're expensive, actually.
You could have a special eternal bonding ceremony mount, but you won't.
Could I? Who would I eternally bond myself to?
We
Who
can
is
get
worthy?
eternally debonded as well, like unconscious unbonding. I
I
don't
don't.
know, what is it? Conscious unbonding? Oh, fuck it, I don't know.
I don't know. All right, hold on. Let me start this Final Fantasy shenanigans. Hold on. Here we go. Pew.
Funnily enough, playing Mahjong on my Switch, I feel I haven't focused on
There we
playing
go.
on the Mahjong client. I mean,
There
I'm not
is.
trying to think about the controls. That's interesting. 51 Clubhouse. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear that they've got some curious translations.
Ooh.
Yeah, I really will. I want to get it, but I haven't managed to get my hands on a Switch because of COVID again.
Oh, do you want mine?
I really wanted to get a Switch, but I have
See, I
not.
I feel like what I want to do is get the what I wanted to do is get the new one that has better battery life. Um, we could work out a thing. Maybe work out a thing.
I might. Yeah, I'll take yours.
Although I think they're like impossible to get across the board. All right, let's queue for some Mahjong.
Yeah, like I was thinking, when Animal Crossing came out, and that was when lockdown first came. I was like, do you know what? Animal Crossing would waste significant amount of my time.
It would. You know what I did get? I got
This plaything on Switch legit rise.
I got this
Apparently they've
bird.
got 3 levels of AI. Apkana should correct me on this. I think they've got 3 levels of AI, and the AI apparently is legitimate.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like this bird. It's an angry bird that's on fire.
How many people? Wow, that's a long queue, mate. I will also hop on. How do I start Final Fantasy now? Yes, they've got multiplayer as well. You can play either with friends or random. I don't have it, so like I'm really just telling you, repeating what I heard. So you should definitely check from a more reputable source. I am the source of misinformation today. Oh no, not my password again.
That's how it keeps everyone from logging in as you. Yeah, I think there's multiplayer on it. Wistomaniac. I think you can play with others.
The service account does not have a valid Final Fantasy XIV license for this platform, or your subscription has expired.
Did you expire?
Oh, I did let it expire.
Oh
Damn it.
no!
Right, okay, fine. I'll buy it again.
How are you
Well,
gonna level up and do all the expansions?
I
as
went
you
through this
need to
thing where
do.
I basically cancelled every single subscription I had because I was like, well, I'll cancel them all, and if I want to go and use it, then I'll just have to pay for it again,
That
right?
makes some sense, actually. It's a good way to
Exactly,
just
because
clean
there's
it
so
all
many like
out.
the subscriptions I've got that I'm not using.
I've
It
been a
wasn't
Roan 2 subscriber for like 10 years.
yeah. I wasn't crazy. I just literally cancelled everything, and I'm like, oh, if I miss it, then I'll get it again.
Oh, that's cool. This is all up in the mountains, and I can just like fly around it.
Oh god, I hate using Mog Station though.
Knock Station could be worse. That's really, really high praise.
Okay, so I save £7.80 if I buy 180 days. Does that really help me? Yeah, that's. Wait a
I
minute.
really like this bird, though.
30 days at £8.99. 30 days at £8.99. Come on, people, you've got to have better maths than me. So £8.99 is 6 months, right? £8.99 is a month.
Yeah.
6 months, 180 days. So then.
It's 48
Oh,
plus...
okay, so £46 over £53. Okay, that's obviously a better deal. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, 9 times 6 is 54 minus 6, so it's 53.94 is how much 6 months costs.
I'm saving, right?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Maybe I should learn to be a crafter while I wait. What crafting is even good? I'm just gonna fly around on my bird. I guess I could go back and be a miner. Let's go be a miner. I'll go learn to mine.
Oh, this is why it's so stupid. It has to like take out like £1 to check that your card works, and then it takes the payment. So even though it looks like it just took the payment, you have to actually go through to confirm the payment.
Do I have any other crafting types that I am? Like, how do you craft? Culinarian and alchemist. Food. Really? Who uses food and meds? Like, I've never used a potion in my life. Food, I guess, yeah.
Really, I've never used food at all.
Food gives you like plus 3% XP. So it's kind of like a why not.
Yeah, well, why don't I have this? Like any type of food?
Anytime. Yeah, everyone can make food.
Told me this. All
right, let's go become. Let's make that my side quest that I do while I. Because I what am I? What am I now? I am no, not currency. No, character. Here we go. So disciple of the land. I'm like a level 10 carpenter and a level 22. I'm nothing. I'm garbage. So let's go become a culinarian. Where's a culinarian? Is it in Limsa Laminsa or is it? Where's a culinarian guild? Dear internets.
The world is currently full.
It's in Limsa. All right, let's go. Let's go. This will be my side quest. While I wait for Mahjong, I will become a culinarian.
A culinarian? Couldn't they just say cook?
No. I'm a culinarian, all right? It's important. You know what else I could... My other side quest could be cleaning up my inventory, which is hot full of garbage. Like, look at all this crap. No one needs any of this crap.
Look, it's like my actual life. If I'm not going to start cleaning up my Final Fantasy inventory before I clean up my real life inventory. As a playable job, oh, that'd be amazing.
Ooh, they should do that, yes.
Because I do such a good job of it in real life.
Okay. Rathalos scales.
Open the Final Fantasy look. No, I don't want to open that in my web browser. No, I don't want any of this. Why is it always open as a fucking pop-up window?
Oh, I got a Biblos card. Oh, I already have a Biblos card. See you later, Biblos card.
Duty Finder. Gold Saucer. What? Novice and advanced.
All right, how do I become a culinarian? Tell me. Look at all these nerds trying to cook. It's a great British baking show.
What was that? Great British Baking Show.
It is. My retainers are
Not the
entirely
Great British
full.
Bake Off. The Great British Baking Show.
Everything is full. Everything, because I never threw anything out.
Have you had an American Bake Off yet? Or are we
No.
still British Bake Off? We still, it's only Britain, is it? We got the Great British Sewing Bee as well now.
Oh, really? That's exciting.
How they're working out how to make us more domesticated. I'm gonna play mini catpot whilst I'm waiting.
Okay. Well, we got 2 in the queue.
That's you and me, mate.
Oh.
Sorry, disappoint.
This is disappointing. Can I stand the heat? Yeah, give me fire and... Oh, I can get a skillet? I want a skillet.
I have one in real life. That's the problem. They don't make these things I have to do in real life fun.
The special ingredient is love. Oh, he always wanted to say that.
Gemma is not a romantic.
I do have the passion.
Dave apparently is. Watch 2 people play Final Fantasy.
Now I have to talk to him holding a skillet. Which means... Did the skillet even make it into my... It's in my inventory because my armory chest is full. What is... Sort, please. What am I not using? Oh, what's this? This is a cool looking sword.
Nelthorm says, culinary is the worst crafted. Recipes are annoying. Nelthorm says, have you ever thought about creating a character on a Japanese server for Mahjong? It seems to be more popular there. Yeah, but then I wouldn't be better than everyone.
Ooh.
No, I managed to make another character on a European server just to play Mahjong. I can't make another character. Like that's just too tragic. Yeah, damn, savage against myself, I think.
What are weird conjurer weapons that I don't need?
I do like winning. Oh, you know, the Japanese are just such... The thing is, though, a lot of these Japanese players, they've been playing since they were much, much younger than us. And, okay, is this racist? Is this racist? Is the thing I'm about to say racist? If you got to ask that question, it inevitably is racist.
What's up with all this
no,
crap?
I think it's okay. So I think that the Japanese education system has a greater emphasis on maths and numbers. Math for the Americans has a greater emphasis on mathematics and numbers and relationships between numbers and patterns and stuff like that than at least the British education system is, and I have no idea about the American education system.
Oh, good. I'm very
even
naked.
Japanese people who haven't played Mahjong before into their adulthood, when I've taught them Mahjong, they have immediately been better off the bat than most Westerners when I teach them. And it has to be some sort of cultural, educational advantage that they are enjoying over us. Either that, or we're just stupid. It could be that. Ringtail says, is there a point to play Mahjong in Final Fantasy rather than on a different dedicated client? If you like playing MMOs, then it's really good.
Well, we started it with...
It's just a long line.
I think we did this because it was like, hey, why not?
We like playing Final Fantasy before this, so yeah. Hoburg says, I think lovely culinary is pretty easy, although the levs give so much. Hardest part is the job crest, but you can buy that crap. Mahjong Backer says, as an American, we don't have an education system. Common Core mathematics is horrible. Yeah, but you've got all those SATs and stuff. Connor says, you're fine, Gemma. Definitely not racist to say the US and UK primary education systems are not the most stellar. Thank you. You gotta be careful sometimes. Sometimes, you gotta think, and is the thing I'm saying just veering into dangerous stereotypes? But no, I think an education system is not a stereotype. It doesn't really get into patterns, and in case force for specialized schools. Yeah, do you know what? Maths education in the UK I found atrocious, and I did maths. I did maths up to. This probably doesn't mean anything to the Americans who are watching, but I did.
I did it.
I did advanced maths at A level, which is the top maths you can take up to the age of 18. And I was really, really good at it. But I have to be honest, the education was kind of uninspiring. And because I had a more natural aptitude for it than, say, some of my classmates, my teacher just gave me the book and told me to do the exercises, and then she had to give her attention to the students who were struggling a little bit. So maybe I could have been awesome, but when you've got teachers who have got large class sizes, um, everyone suffers, even the ones who are doing well.
All right, now I don't have to be naked anymore. That's good.
Common Core is really different from normal math. Yeah, I mean, I hated stats though. That was probably the reason I never took math
Wait, don't
any
I now
further.
have a? Oh,
I
I
hate
don't.
stats. I really like pure and I really like mechanics, but stats is dumb. I hate stats. Stats really made me realize that every way that people use numbers is bad. It's only there to make me feel bad.
What can I get rid of? I hate having to worry about this.
I don't know what Dave's doing, but yeah. So calculus, yeah. I mean, it's I quite like calculus, but yeah, it's just seeing the way that Japanese people who are educated, not Japanese people, I shouldn't say, people who are educated in a Japanese system, the way that they can manipulate numbers in their heads is far superior to the way British people can. I mean, adding up, that's really arithmetic. So mental arithmetic for British people is terrible. We are really bad at it. Statistics is the best class I ever did back in uni. Yeah. So, but I think if you have confidence with numbers, that means you have confidence with patterns, which means you're going to be better at games like Mahjong. And even I'd say that if you can be good at maths, you can be good at languages like Japanese. I mean, maths is basically just a language to understand numbers, science, the world around us, right? Dave is quiet.
It is. I'm wondering. I don't have the required materials. Yes, I do. Oh no, I don't.
Yeah,
That
I'm a
can
bit
make
sad.
me
I
feel
don't know.
stupid.
Like, I think so. I was going down a science route initially. I did maths and chemistry and biology, and then because I was an awful, awful teenager, I just wanted to upset people, so I decided that I would do languages instead. Um, but I certainly think starting out in that kind of more sciencey route did help me with some rather than being just doing humanities subjects. Grueling competition amongst Japanese students, not do 8 hours homework after school to ace the test because someone who, yeah, I mean they are more studious than we are. I'm not sure if that's entirely a good thing. There are some suggestions and theories in the academic classes that this robbing Japanese children of their childhood by forcing them into this very terrible education system means that they hold on to childish behaviors far longer than possibly they should, which is where you see this fetishization of childhood. Things that should stay in childhood. Things like Sailor Moon and all the other stuff. The idea is that because they were never given that childhood, when they become adults, they hold on to that childhood that they never really got. We all do it to an
Hmm.
extent. Right? As soon as I got disposable income, I wasted it all on £100 Lego sets. But some of the ways that it can be seen is sometimes unhealthy. I probably playing way too much Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, this is all card games, right? Deck building is useful, yeah. I mean, all that kind of stuff. MMOs, RPGs, of course they're going to help you. I see people go through the same math class as me and have far worse mental health than me. I think people who want to, this is Ring Tail 69, I think people who want to actually learn Mahjong to get good at it come from a different mental headspace rather than those who just want to have a new fun toy for a day. True, very true. Now, we never studied stats in high school, so on third year on my physics degree, the professor said I have to give you a stats primer because I know you probably have no idea what stats. Yeah, I mean, people who come to Mahjong, you're right, they do tend to have a different mentality.
We got 3 out of 4 here.
Yay! But you have to warn me when the queue pops because I might be chatting. The yeah, people, but most people in Japan can probably play Mahjong to a certain degree. And it's not like they ever think that they were taught. It's just always been there. Like I couldn't tell you
Ooh,
how
hey, it popped.
I couldn't tell you how I know how to play chess. it just always, I've been able to play it since I was a kid.
All right. I remember learning to play chess. Sorry, I was so focused on becoming a good culinarian.
You're doing a real good job. Yeah,
Oh
no, I
man,
mean,
we got people we
who knows when
know.
you got to play chess? It's just a thing that's always part of our culture. And mahjong being a part of their culture means
It's
they
becomes a little bit endemic. Yeah, like everyone knows. All right, what are we doing?
know the basics, right? So the basics are already there. Don't have to start off with teaching people how to draw tiles. It's already there.
Ugh, I don't like
Yeah,
this.
good luck. Good luck.
Bad luck for
You're
me.
opposite.
Good luck for
I,
you guys. Bad luck
I
for
should
me.
put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Always helps. Ooh, no, they're dirty.
Uh,
Oh,
advanced table.
advanced table. Whoa. Okay, I've got to be careful. Got to pay attention. Thank you, Nathan, for the heads up. I did not know.
This is the worst. I don't want this. Hmm.
So every time Dave says this is the worst, I don't want this, he means I've got 3 Dora.
It's not 3, Dora. I think that's overstating it a little bit. 4 is a bigger number than 3. I do think it's really funny that you have to be because it's a duty. You have to go back to the class you signed up for the duty with. Like, it popped. I'm sitting there doing my culinary stuff, and the queue pops, and it's like, all right, time for Mahjong. And it's like, but wait, dude, you're not a paladin. And I'm like, I don't think anyone cares. What? I'm going to tank the heck out of this Hanchan.
For us.
Don't worry.
Take
Tanking this
all
Hanchan is exactly what I'm going to do.
Take all of the hits.
It's all going to happen.
Oh, I see
Nope.
your problem. Oh, yeah, I did run that. Thank you. Whilst I was sorting out my computer.
I know you wanted it because someone waited on it the last time it was discarded, and it wasn't me.
Wow, I wanted the second one. I made that choice. I made that choice that there were other ways to progress my hand, but I will take the second one. See? I'm applying the knowledge that I learned with you.
That's what it's all about, you know?
Dave, why?
Because it does lower the value of her hand. That's the thing. You open your hand, it's less valuable.
Yeah, and really I should be making a few more shapes more than this, but hey ho.
And I am of the opinion that I know how this hand's going to go.
Oh, crapsicles.
It's what you get for playing Mahjong in any way.
But just hoping too much. Wishing too hard.
This is the worst. Nothing good is happening to Dave. Or something good happened to Dave. Ooh, nothing good is happening to Dave.
Was that the good thing, Dave?
That was
Is
not
that
the good thing. But fortunately for Dave, he is prepared for this moment by getting himself a set of save tiles.
Oh, look at me. I can also have save tiles.
You can. Don't know how I feel about this. Oh, okay, fine. I'll take it. Fine by me. Yeah, I was dealt the red 5 mon and it was entirely isolated. So I was just like, well, I did get it. I got it somewhere.
Mm.
But that was a rough time for me.
Oh no! On the chat, AD Stark says stick. Well, that saved me.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm not in the right thing. I want to right turn, be nice. Oh, I don't know how to.
Ugh.
Oh, I can't because I'm not too good.
Right there. Shoot, wait. Okay, here we go.
Usually I'm on the PlayStation, so I can't actually type when people chat.
Yeah,
so
the PlayStation makes typing really hard.
totally weird. I've got a keyboard. I've even got a Bluetooth keyboard, so it's not so bad when you're in the dungeons or the instances. But on the Mahjong table, it's really difficult.
Yeah. I'm liking what's going on here. This is fun.
Wait, did you notice they had, I don't know if you, I'm going to sound totally like my mother now when she says, did you see that thing they had on Facebook? And I have to try to explain to my mother for the umpteenth time that our Facebooks look different. Anyway, so did you see on the Facebook, Dave, they were running those ads for Final Fantasy XIV. They had like 2 anime ads, one for boys and one for girls. I noticed the boys one actually put Mahjong quite.
I did not, because I don't look at ads ever anywhere.
Okay, it was quite in the center.
That's
it was,
interesting.
I mean, I'm following Square's page, so it was reasonable that I would see videos that they are sharing.
Okay.
You know what I'm really surprised at? That no one made a Harry Potter MMO. Feels like it's begging to be an MMO.
A little bit.
Right?
Yeah. I don't like this. This is getting a little.
Because you could have different classes, you could go to school, blah blah blah. People love that crap. I mean, a Twilight MMO wouldn't work. There's not enough story there.
Nothing Twilight would work.
Twilight's amazing. Anyone else pre-ordered the new Twilight book? Because I'm excited.
No, it's gotta go.
I'm excited to see how bad it can be.
Well.
Family Guy had an MMO. Family Guy? Are you kidding?
That's crazy. Oh, what have you done? Now I can't
There's
throw
always
anything.
been rumors of an open world sandbox Harry Potter game. Like, they've been rumors since I was living in Germany, which is like, what, 7 years ago now? In development? That would be good. Well, they have those, like, those phone games, but I'm not going to play anything on my phone. I'm an adult. Oh, 9. Okay, good.
I hate this. Let's do it.
They're on the official YouTube. There you go. You can see the little anime thing with what was on.
This is gonna be the death of me, though. But I'm gonna do it.
Ah, quite aggressive. Oh, Dave.
Oh God.
Dave.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Playing Mahjong.
My God. Oh shit.
Oh no.
Oh crap. Take it. If you're gonna take it, don't.
It's alright. I got it. Yes.
You dealer.
Yup.
Woo.
Yes. Yes.
Woo.
Dem's points.
Nice hand, mate.
That 6 and the Chun were super risky. I was really scared of that Chun. I was like, this is where Gemma is like, ha, I was waiting on the Chun, you noob.
I thought South might wanted it actually.
Oh God, I did that thing. That thing where I look at the Dora and I don't say to myself, X is the Dora. Instead, I just think it's the indicator, like always.
Yeah.
But...
It's a whole extra level element of the game.
Shoot. That's fine.
It's one of those things as well that if I ever told, like, my, the teachers in the professional league that I struggle with this, they'd be like, you just need to get better. Why are you so stupid?
Yeah, God, what's wrong with you?
They're like, it's simple. How many times do you need to cock it up?
Oh, that was really dumb.
It's really interesting, actually, the things that they think are like, oh yeah, that's totally understandable. So, I was playing at the European Championships, and I thought I had Tenpai. I declare Ricci, and then I pick up a 9-man and I look at it and I'm like, huh, this is different to my other 9-man. And I completely misread my tiles. I had that, when you get that point where you see what you want to see, not what you actually have. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not Tenpai. I've cocked this up. So then, of course, I spend the entire game praying that someone else wins, which they do, luckily. So I don't have to reveal my shame. But hey ho, of course, one of my bosses behind me watching the whole thing. And afterwards, he's like, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna chew me up for this. And afterwards, he's like, oh yeah, that happens all the time. I'm like, that mistake's okay. This mistake, but the other mistakes, those were terrible.
It's not worth it.
It wasn't a 6. I think it was an 8-man. It was really one of those things where you're like, how can I be so stupid?
It's not worth it.
Oh God.
Okay. Dave's back in the game.
I don't know what I'm gonna do to stay out of this.
That.
Whoa.
It's Tanyodora.
I know Tenrichi ARC, but sadly into Duke. Oh, Fleek, I'm so sorry. Do you know what? We have all been there, and we've all spent an entire, game going like, please, someone win. I don't even care if I pay it.
Oh, we've all had those days. Oh, this is one of those hands. Okay, 5-mon is the literal door. I'm just gonna say it to myself. I would not have won that hand.
Chombos for like really important tournaments. I only chombo at ERMC, WRC. I only chombo at those.
It's good. You want to save your best for the best. That's what I always say. Save your best for the best. I don't say that really, but.
I'm connected here, aren't I?
Huh?
Are you? Oh God.
Zoom is not thrilled with me right now. Are you?
No, it's something's happened here.
Oh, it's like my rant about keeping your internet connection good.
Yeah, no, we had a brownout though, so that's not.
Oh
my
shoot!
fault.
Well, you're still connected to Zoom. You're still live on the stream and on Zoom.
Yeah, the electric went, so that is not. I can't blame the internet.
No,
for that
that's
one.
true. That's.
Oh, and because I wasn't logged out, I can't log back in again. God damn.
Oh no!
Am I throwing away all the best tiles?
You haven't thrown anything. The game's just sitting.
Oh, is it? That's kind. Can you tell people that I'm logging back?
Oh no, there we go. You just threw an 8, so.
Oh, well, I'm still not logged in, so it must have timed out. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm trying to play a little slowly.
That's fine. Don't worry too much. Oh, 8, so now I probably didn't want that one.
Then you threw a 1 pin. I'm just going to tell you what you've discarded.
Yeah, that's nice. Oh, now I remember my hand now. No, they decided I didn't need the 1 pin I didn't need.
Maybe they have an AI.
Full now, so I got to wait.
Now 5 pin. That's unlikely that you just didn't need that.
That would have been nicer. Location: the Mandeville tables.
Ooh.
Yeah. Real problem logging you out and you crash. Yeah. We've been having quite a few brownouts. I'm gonna blame COVID. Like it doesn't take my router off entirely. It just kind of makes it blip.
Yeah, and that's actually the worst kind of problem, because what ends up happening in situations like that is like it takes a while for everything to realize it's been disconnected, because there's not like a hard termination, and so some things will be like, oh, I'm fine, and other things will be like, you're gone, and it's hard to
yeah, depending on how much it's connecting, what signals it's sending.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really did want that 5 pin.
Ugh, this is rough. I don't know what I need to do here. I need to draw very specific tiles. I'm just gonna go this way. I don't like what's happening over there.
I'm just trying to work out what happened to me. Oh God. Okay. All right, I'm gonna throw this. See what happens.
No one cares.
Must be people destroying tech due to 5G conspiracies. Are we still doing 5G conspiracies?
5G. Oh God, yeah. Apparently,
You know,
people
they
are hiding like razor
burned
blades
cell
and shit.
towers here. They burned cell towers here because they were convinced that 5G was causing coronavirus.
Oh, they're crazy. Everyone's crazy.
I really despair of the education system if people think that.
I mean, the problem is like what people think is that there's some kind of crazy secret that only they can uncover. Like that's where it gets to be crazy.
And also, I keep wondering, like, if there really was a conspiracy theory, do they not think that someone would have given someone enough money to squeal by now?
Well, that's what I find to be very interesting about all of this is like all these conspiracies are very improbable that someone that it's going to be, oh dear.
Yeah, like that they would just be able to cover up this entire thing.
Yeah, that no one has said anything about it. I don't like a lot of what's going on here.
I'm concerned. In that Orange Jacket scream about not wanting Bill Gates' vaccine. Poor Bill Gates. I mean, he's not poor. He's very rich and he's doing fine. He doesn't give a shit. But, you know, I'm sure he's not the greatest person that lived, but...
I mean, frankly, he's put a lot of effort towards things like vaccination, and he's done some good deeds in his life.
He's not doing the worst things.
No. Oh, dear.
Of all the people that we can get mad about, do we have to get mad at that? I don't know. Plenty of things to get mad at him for without going, yes. My office managed to make it so I can no longer upload or download files. It took me a whole week to work out it was Office that was doing it. What the hell, Office? You're supposed to work on a Windows machine. That's your job. That's literally your only job.
Everyone know 10? Wow.
Yeah, I was going for a low lunge there, I'm going to call that.
I was close to something, but it would have been like Tanya Odora, would have been nothing.
I know, I'm on the fact that gave me actually way too much credit when it comes to competency.
Well, it's true. Like it's always this weird thing where it's like there's thousands of people and they're all lying at the same time, and I'm like,
all of those like crisis actors, and I'm like, mate, if they are getting paid, like you'd have to pay them like thousands an hour for them to keep their mouth shut because they just have to say one thing that they were a crisis actor, and they're going to be millionaires. Doesn't add up.
It's just baffling. I'm like, there's no evidence for any of this, and no one has ever made a conspiracy like this. Like, it never happens, ever. In no time at any place has there ever been a conspiracy this big.
There's got to be some conspiracies, though.
But in many ways...
would we consider Watergate? Was that a conspiracy? It's not really a conspiracy, is it?
I mean, yes, it was, actually. Watergate was a group of people working together. Yeah.
It's not conspiracy the way we use conspiracy.
No, it's not like a crazy conspiracy theory, but Watergate was definitely a group of people conspiring to cover something, to make something happen and to cover something up. Yes.
They didn't do it.
No, we very quickly found out what the heck was going on with Watergate. And that was some of the most powerful people in America also. Like, that was the president of the United States. There was some crazy stuff going on, but like, yeah, Watergate, we found that out. We got it.
Boring, you know? There were like people moving money from account to account in a boring fashion.
Yeah, like real conspiracies are like the coronavirus relief bill, where they were like, what if we just gave a lot of money to businesses, but then we just had no oversight. And now you tell all your buddies to claim the money, and then we give the money to all your buddies. That's the conspiracy. We did it.
Yeah, but people don't understand that level.
No, they don't want to think about it. That's not fun. That's not exciting.
Do you know what I really miss when conspiracy theories were all about aliens? Those were fun. X-Files was fun. I can imagine there was a Mulder and a Scully trying to, you
I
know.
want, I want tiles, but I'm not getting tiles, and that's making me sad.
I really liked X-Files. Didn't make any sense though, because Scully saw a UFO in like the first season, and then she was still unconvinced, and they never really got into why she was unconvinced by aliens.
Oh, because she's like standing there next to the UFO, and she's like, I don't know.
Eyes at Mulder again, like
Not
crazy.
sure. I gotta be honest, just not sure about this.
And then she saw all that crazy shit as well. Like she
won.
saw a lot of crazy shit, and you're like, at some point, Scully, you're gonna have to rethink.
Oh no!
We may be going a bit 90s for our audience.
Crap,
now.
you're the dealer and you won. I don't like that. You need to not do that. You can win anytime you're not the dealer.
If you notice, I talk a lot when I am doing good.
That's true. It's because you're comfortable with your hand and chatty.
My conspiracy.
That's not a conspiracy of one. That's just a tactic. Ugh. Ugh. Come on, Tiles. Nothing good will happen to Dave. But Dave is happy because Dave is sitting there in first place right now, so it's kind of like, okay.
I'm crawling up there. Crawling being
Yes, I don't like that you're moving forward, but everyone else has much more motivation to fight than me. Look, I'd sumo to dealer Rangan because I am the best.
Through talent.
It's entirely talent.
Why have I got that bright blue earring?
Okay. Fine.
Earring. Yeah, okay.
Fine. Oh my god.
Earring for EXP. Oh, that's why I'm wearing it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's the
I
magical
probably just
EXP
looked at it, like, what is it going to give me? And then I just put it on without thinking about how it would clash with my green hair with highlights.
You've got a lot going on.
Well, I was a bit like you in that I was trying to make like an ugly character. I don't think I did as well as you. I don't know. Yours has kind of a charm. Dave? What in the ever-loving is that?
It's intimidation.
Fuck you!
I know, right?
Can. That's like 5 hands just sitting there, just hanging out.
I know.
Don't be proud of yourself.
I'm a little proud of myself. I did it.
Oh, now we're gonna be cally, are we?
Yeah, I'm hoping to be winnie. Uh-oh, Gemma's trying to outspeed me. She might.
I'm trying to outspeed you now, yeah.
Yeah, she might. Oof. I was worried about that one.
Oh, bullshit.
Nice.
That's the way to play Mahjong. Yeah, someone's just like Tanya.
I don't like it, but I gotta go. Like, this is it.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
I definitely sacrificed value for speed here.
Okay, I like this. I'm in a decent spot. Oh, this is bad. I don't care. There's nothing I can do.
That was bad. That was bad.
Oh, no. Oh, no!
This is going to be safe.
Wow,
Yes.
You made it.
Yes!
Oh, no! I was on a 6-9 weight and I had 2 more Dora in hand.
6-9 pin?
6-9 pin, yeah. And the 8s were super dead, so I was like, oh, this is great. The 9s are isolated. Ah. Now the question is, should I have conned that? I could have not conned that.
I think you kind of have
But
to.
I felt like at the point at which I'd drawn it all, and I was Ishan 10, so like I could have conned into reach if I got a lucky
I
draw.
wouldn't have thrown the 6 so if it looked dangerous on you. I only did it because it looked dangerous on North.
Oh, you wanted to deal into North?
I'd deal into that rather than yours.
That's fair.
Because I'd already dropped the other four mans for some dumbass reason.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad because that hand was so beautiful. I wish I could have reached it. That would have been even better. But when I saw the 7, because I had like 4, 6, 8.
Yeah.
So getting the 7 out of that, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna take what I can get and have the 2-sided weight. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm so sad. Someone else has to win something, though. This is the problem, though. It's like, I'm like, okay, I'm in the lead, I don't have to push. But now, other players are not effectively challenging the dealer, and if they can't get it done, then what am I supposed to do but be sad all the time?
All
now
right.
we have a fast dealer reach.
I'm not happy with it there, if that makes you happy.
It makes me a little happy.
Yeah, this is very uncharacteristic of me, so I'm kind of curious to see if a different type of jammer does better. I would not have done this normally. I would reach too high and hope for too much.
Shoot.
Ah. It would have been a Sanshoku, maybe. I'd have just waited.
Sad.
Yeah. Normally, if there's any chance of Sanshoku is true, I will wait and I will try and massage it into one. Which is probably why I haven't been doing so well recently.
Oh, closed 2. Interesting. That is weird.
That's not like me, right?
Yeah.
That is.
But again, you're creeping up to me, and I don't like it.
I would have normally, because I could have easily had a 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku there. I probably would have held out a little bit, but I was like, try something new, Gemma. And I'm dealer, and it's fast. It's nice.
It's super fast, and I don't... Homba 4. Come on, man. I could have gone fast, but I didn't. Out of respect for you.
Thank you, mate.
That is not at all what happened.
What's the Dora, Dave?
5-mon literally is the Dora.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what amount you get for eternal bonding.
You're really into this. Alright.
Because it's the most ridiculous thing I've heard. I do like ridiculous. You know me. I love Twilight because it's awful. I don't like it because it's good. I like it because it's awful. I rewatched what is that terrible movie?
Twilight.
Showgirls.
Oh.
God, that's a terrible movie.
I thought it was Twilight.
Oh yeah, I watched that too. That is where my love for the horror started.
Oh, people are protesting outside.
Is that what's going on?
That's what's going on outside my window.
Are they not like? No offense, like you do live in New York, but like, do you not think they should be like more like near Trump Tower or something?
I mean, they're protesting a lot of different things here, so
yeah,
it's kind of going to be wherever. I think they might have been. I don't know whether they're marching or what they're doing right now.
Mahjong Baka asks.
If Jenwin's not going to do it, no, there's no circumstance.
This rejection, guys. Rejection.
Oh, I don't like this at all. Do I have to give up on my dreams?
If I got Yakuman on this Hanchan, would you eternally bond with me?
No, you're not saying that. You're only saying that because you might. Now I'm upset.
Oh, you think I've got one now?
It's possible.
But he's mean, right, guys? He's mean.
Let's see you use that and you're all green.
Look at Bexar. Look at Bexar there. Look at him.
He's
Can
not.
you see? You zoom in on his
I
face.
know.
You
I.
can
I.
see
I,
one
I don't think
single
I can actually.
roll down his cheek. They sound like they're having a happy protest.
They're super psyched for protesting. Apparently.
Funnily enough, rural Devon is not a hotbed of protest. I did think about sticking up a sign on the statue of the world's first slaver that's in our town. But then I realized that I would have to dangerously balance myself on a roundabout, and
That is probably fairly dangerous.
yeah, I am up for the cause, but probably don't want to die on the roundabout. Because I really wouldn't go down as protester. I would go down as idiot gets squashed.
Yeah, like Vandal.
Yeah. Vandal gets squashed by a car, exactly. It would not really be making the point that the cause needs, right? Dave wears the dress as well.
Oh, interesting.
The dress is more fun than the suit. And we could both wear the dress. It's a busy enough roundabout, but the thing is, especially when it gets late at night, because I go out at night, right, when it's dark, but the problem is when it's late at night and it's dark, like the cars go really fast and you can't hear them and see them and there's no warning. It'd probably actually be better to go out there when it was crowded and trafficy.
Epico Dora Dora. I was Tempai on the 6-9 pin for Pin Fudora 2, but I didn't reach it because I was like, you know what? Let's see if we can get that to come out.
Dave, we're in a new interesting position now where all the games changed because they've got bust. You can bust out. You've got Toby on this.
I know. My good friend Toby.
It's now Toby. It's now a race to see who can Toby West.
All right. You do it. Go for it. I will graciously let you win.
You're so kind. But no, you're only saying that because you would internally bond and wear a dress.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it up to you. 3-pin is literal Dora. Ugh, I just want to... Man, that hand was good, but I feel like I'm glad I didn't reach it. I don't feel like it would have been worth the extra push.
Gosh, they're quite loud.
I don't understand protesting a little bit. Like, to be fair, to be clear, I understand why people are upset and why they feel like they should be protesting. Like, that makes entirely real sense to me. What I don't necessarily understand right now, at least, is how you go out. Like what do you do when you go to a place and there's a lot of people in the place, and you all maybe I'm just a boring man who can't imagine being that excited about anything for that long.
Like the energy it requires.
And I mean, again, I'm not happy. I'm not claiming this is a fine situation by any means.
You might be being a boring old man there.
That is very possible.
Sorry, mate.
I'm sorry.
I think if I was still in London, I probably would go out to protest. Like, I think it's yeah. Yeah, because you know what? It must be even more exhausting to be on the hard end of that shit.
Gemma does not care about West, is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, not for that either. But I'd also like to point out, you know what? Like, the British police really know how to make protests boring because they don't react. They're bored pretty quickly then.
Yeah, that would get things really dull really quick.
Yeah, right. If they don't react, then everyone's like, I mean, I wanted to give one to the man, but the man...
like I wanted to say fuck the man, but instead the man was just like, whatever.
Okay, what do we want? Yeah, it's pretty dull.
That was a big mistake. What did I do that for? That's stupid.
Don't understand protesting, but I don't understand rioting. Well, I mean, define rioting. That's the problem.
That was all a big mistake. Everything I did was the worst.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, what you're doing over there, Dave, is bad. And the problem is, the problem I think as well is that people are so mad, and they are right that you know. Okay, there's two different types of rioting. There is
Mm.
rioting where independent business owners and small people are damaged. That's bad. But I have to be honest, in our current commercialized lives, Walmart might be a valid target.
Well, this is where things get weird, right? I mean,
Because you know what, lots of these people in power won't listen until they are materially impacted.
yes.
Because they don't care if people are murdering people on the streets. Actually, they'd rather you were murdering policemen. They probably wouldn't care still then.
I mean, that is where it gets weird and problematic. First of all, I don't think anyone wants to riot. Like very few people are straight up like, what we need to do right now is riot. But at the same time, when you have that level of anger in people, like,
Oh, I'm just throwing extra Dora like they were nothing.
oh yeah,
Target is a different story.
don't care. It's fine.
Woo. Oh, Dave, that might put you down a second.
Oh, you're right. No, that's not fine at all.
That's bad.
Oh, that's a dealer
mate.
Mangan. That's no good.
Oh, mate, you're third.
It's all right. I was temping on the last Haku. It was stupid. No, I'm too busy thinking about this rioting thing. I'm not even focused. But that entire hand, I made such huge mistakes.
I mean, yeah, so the point to change the law, but they won't change the law. Like, at no point does the law get changed by peaceful protesting, unfortunately. And if, do you know what? And this is where, if they had listened to the peaceful protests when the peaceful protests were happening, which they were, then it wouldn't have gotten to this. But because they never listen when the peaceful protests are happening, what else is done? It's not like the civil rights movement asked nicely and people got stuff. It's not like the Americans asked nicely if the British would just stop. We wouldn't. We wouldn't until you shot us off your continent.
I mean, frankly, there's a whole bunch of different things that are all going on at the same time, and that's I think where it gets really complicated.
I mean, don't loot, but people don't loot. I'm not condoning.
No one's suggesting anyone loot. Please don't.
Don't loot. It's not a good thing, but you know.
But like, what you have is a combination of real serious structural issues in the United States with policing and how policing works, and what happens to people. Like, it's not okay. It's incredibly not okay. And time again.
Dave, I hoped for too much and now I've screwed myself.
Yeah. Like time and time again, we've seen people just get murdered. People just get murdered. It's not okay. And everyone, of course, is upset about that. On top of that, you also have COVID, which maybe people in other countries have not seen what that's done here. What the heck is going on? Everyone else is just playing Mahjong and I'm not.
Yeah, okay, I'm pawning it. And I'm going to throw another danger tile. Oh my god, why won't I pawn? Okay.
Oh my god.
Why is it not responding to me? Okay. Do as I say, computer!
It would be nice. Everything is dangerous, and I'm just going to deal in like an idiot.
Other people tried to loot Amazon Go Store and got charged for their stolen goods.
That's kind of funny. But like you have tons of people now out of work. And they have nothing else to do. What else do they have to do except be upset about these things?
And you know, it's always important to remember looting only really happens in unequal societies. And yes, I got it. I drew the Dora. I win. I'm gonna win this hand champ.
Yeah, that's it for me at least.
Sorry, I was making
that's pretty nice
point. And yeah, that was good.
That brings me down only to 23 though. I actually have a shot now that I'm dealer again. I actually am close enough to second, but I think you do now have the hunch on unless you deal into me for something stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. So where was I going? Where was I going with this? What was I saying? Oh, unequal societies breed things like looting. In an equal society, you would not get looting, but in these horribly unequal societies, you get looting. Okay, Baddock says, well, sure, but the Tiananmen Square people did ask nicely, and look what happened. See, they didn't ask nicely when you think about what was going on at the time. And I think that, especially from, sorry guys, I did a whole master's in China, so this is my thing. But you've got to remember as well that the Cultural Revolution, where the students were going around massacring people who wore glasses and eating them, had only really happened a few decades earlier. And the Deng Xiaoping, who was in charge at the time, when he looked out his window, he'd been sent down by the Cultural Revolution. So when he looked out his window at Tiananmen Square, he saw the students coming for him again. They were not acting like rational people. They were acting like frightened people who had had terrible things happen to them during the uprising of the Communist Party and the Cultural Revolution and the Great Leap Forward. And all of these things went into what happened at Tiananmen Square. So Tiananmen Square is not a great correlation. They're very different cultures, very different political systems. Arguably,
she was losing. Well, she wasn't losing, actually. She was doing quite well.
Arguably, they didn't ask that nicely. If you think that, they were trying to involve foreign powers as well in their in their protest, which was a big no-no for them. 2 dragons out. Yeah, I wasn't losing. I was losing to Dave.
Yeah, well, you were in second place. You were coming back because, again, everyone else at the table kind of let you just creep and creep and creep and creep.
Yeah, well, it was because I had that dealer rampage.
Yep.
But yeah, really, I mean, the powers that be in America had a lot of chances. I mean, when was it? Was it the Central Park 5? When were they?
Central Park 5 was a long time. Now, to be a little fair to America, I would say that our responses to these things have slowly, over the years, creeped towards what would be better.
But it's
oh no, shit! I might have just ended the game. Yeah, I think I did. But I ended the game in second place, so I'll take it.
Nice.
After that big mistake of a deal in, but your Tsumo really sealed it for you either way.
Yeah, that was a very lucky hand that suddenly came. Yay! I don't lose rank points.
I gain rank points. So yeah, like there's so many different things that are going on. We have this now. I can actually focus on talking about it because we are at about 2 hours. But like we have this situation where we have this inequality, this police brutality problem, and I don't really think anyone can argue. If you can argue that what was witnessed in that video was not police brutality, I think you have some serious problems as a human being, frankly. What we should do about it, I think there's a lot of different things people think, and I think there's room to talk about what we should do about it. But I think what happened, pretty much everyone, frankly, does agree. I don't really see anyone being like, that was cool. It was heinous.
George Floyd video.
Yeah, what happened to George Floyd. So I don't think anyone can claim that this is okay. We have these huge long-term policing issues where these things happen over and over and over again. But the problem is the thing where it goes even further, that again people not from America might not be familiar with, is these things happen, and they are reported, and the police are oftentimes even they make it to trial, and the police union spends a lot of money on lawyers for them, and then they're acquitted. And that's where that's the problem. If you look at the LA riots of 1992, the LA riots were not because Rodney King was beaten. They were because the officers who beat Rodney King, with the video, with footage, with it being incredibly clear, were all acquitted. They were all declared innocent. And that's the problem that keeps happening over and over and over again. We don't hold people accountable. Because you know what? Unfortunately, bad incidents are going to happen.
They're always going to happen. We
can't stop them. Bad incidents will happen. We can try to minimize them. They're awful. But then when they happen and people are just, they say things like, I was really scared, I was fearful for my life, and they just get acquitted, that's where it gets really crazy. And that's part of what people are mad about. And you combine that with coronavirus, these people don't have jobs because all the people in the service industry got fired.
What they're asking for is fairly reasonable. We'd like the police to stop killing us.
But not only do they not have jobs, you go past that. They don't have these people have lost their jobs due to coronavirus, many of them. They were promised some kind of solution from the government. The government was going to give them some money. I think 40-50% of people never got that money. They haven't seen it yet. All the companies got the money. In fact, big companies got the money before small companies. A lot of small companies got nothing. The people didn't get their checks. They didn't get the money they were supposed to get from the government. Repeatedly, programs like healthcare programs, welfare programs, anything meant to provide them with something during this time so they don't suffer has been deliberately stymied and undermined and not delivered to them. So these people don't have much. And when people don't have much, they're much more inclined to say, I got nothing.
They've got no skin in
Why
the
not?
game.
Yeah, why not smash this shit? Why not take something? Because I got nothing, so I might as well take what I can get. Like there's a lot going on here of people being mistreated and underrepresented, and they're really upset about it. And to be frank, there's much more protesting going on than looting. There's
Yeah,
very little looting
yeah.
going
Sorry,
on.
Baddock. I think me and Baddock are actually on the same page in that. Yeah, Tiananmen Square, they asked nicely, as it were, and no, China hasn't. China is still where it is, and now we're looking at Hong Kong with some pretty brutal laws going in there. And the UK having to offer refuge to all 3 million residents of Hong
And
Kong.
China's mad about that.
Oh, that's insane. But
Lame.
that's the kind of strength of feeling that there is. Yeah. I don't. It's
It's a little nuts.
2020 is a crazy year, and if the aliens do come, I will be like, God, guys, you took your time. It's already June.
I mean, the problem is people. You say something like to say something like, "Oh, if people want change, how can people make it happen?" Like I feel like the realities, like the realities of power, are that people kind of can't. Like, and this is what's really frustrating, right? Democracy is supposed to give the people the opportunity to regularly check and curb the powers that rule over them. To regularly say, we're not okay with what you've done, we're going to elect someone else. We are okay with what you've done, we're going to reelect you. And when the people use that responsibly, when the people use that lever responsibly, you can have accountable leadership. But again, speaking from a very American perspective,
Yeah.
we have not done that. That's just being very kind to say we have not done that. A large chunk of our population does not understand these principles. They don't understand the fundamental principles of that's how it's supposed to work. We still have structural racism and sexism problems where a good chunk of our population really wants to see other chunks of the population pushed down.
Yeah.
Not everyone by any means, and not the majority by any means, but there's still a good chunk of people who have frankly racist and sexist views. And I think there's another good chunk of people who have a tough time now that things are getting more equal. They don't know the history, and so they don't understand why there are these problems and why we have to be sensitive about these problems. Like, it's true that the work police do in the US is a little more stressful and dangerous because many people can have a weapon. That does make it more difficult for them. But at the same time, I think there's definitely lines that you can.
I don't think they're trained very well. That's
they're not trained, and they are unionized, and the union will protect them legally from any challenge. So they know that whatever they do, they have a powerful, wealthy police union on, getting their back and getting them acquitted. And hey, their disciplinary records are all secret. So, you can murder a guy in one precinct, get in trouble, leave, get hired by another precinct, and no one's allowed to know that you murdered a guy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. There's so many reforms we can put out there that are not going to endanger police, but will make them accountable to people so we can know, what have you done? Have you been in trouble before? And you know what? If you get in trouble and it turns out maybe you were right, maybe you're wrong, and it was an iffy situation, and you're discharged from the force and you can't be a police officer anymore, honestly, boo fucking who? There are lots of jobs out there. There's plenty of work you can do if you lose we have a licensing system, which people are talking about. If you lose your policing license because you're involved in, again, maybe it's an iffy situation, maybe it's not obvious, it turns out you got ruled against and we think you did the wrong thing. All right, fine, congratulations. Welcome to the world of everyone else. Time to get a job.
But then if there's licensing, it means that there's a record,
Exactly.
you can...
And there should be. We license people. We require professional licenses for people who have to act on the behalf of other people who can't help themselves. My doctor, I don't know medicine. I can't cure my body. My doctor is licensed by a board and has ethical requirements to make sure that because I can't make informed decisions about my body, my doctor needs to act ethically with me. My lawyer, I don't know the law, same thing, right? My lawyer needs to act ethically. A police officer should be the same thing. I'm not allowed to enforce the law. I'm not allowed to run around being like, you're under arrest, because that's the rules, right? You can't have everyone doing that. So if the police officer has to act on my behalf doing something I can't do, they should be licensed. And you know what? You don't hear doctors don't like malpractice, to be honest. You do hear them whining about it. But when doctors get their medical license revoked, they do something else. It's okay. And overall, that's how you protect people. You say, when the people you trust to take care of you don't act in your interest, we revoke their license to keep acting. They are liable. And police should have to be under the same level of scrutiny. And I don't think that's a negative message. I don't think that's some kind of evil, I hate police message. I just think that they need to be accountable.
It helps all the good guys as well.
And that's what a lot of people are protesting for very aggressively right now. So they need police accountability. And we also, to be frank, shouldn't be selling them military hardware because they shouldn't need military hardware. Like, why should the police need an armored personnel carrier? Ever. Ever. Why should they need AR-15s and heavy weapons? Like, the only thing anywhere near that I could imagine is specific anti-terrorist police, which should be regulated differently and only deployable in certain locations.
Yeah, like a proper SWAT team kind of.
Yeah, like a SWAT team makes a little bit of sense to me, especially in a large area like New York, because once in a while there might be something big going on, and I'd be
Someone
lot
might try
more.
to fly a plane into something.
Yeah, well, that SWAT team's not going to help with that. But
No,
I'd be a lot
but
more
yeah.
inclined to support that if I felt like there was a clear accountability structure and clear rules about when you can use a SWAT team and what has to happen in order for you to do it.
So I know it's interesting for me because in the UK, that generally the police are not allowed to discharge their firearm unless they have been given permission on the spot by a remote control unit. So we have had unlawful killings by police officers, but it's been through an entire chain, you know.
Mm.
So there is paperwork and there is training, and it's very difficult to say, well, this police officer acted incorrectly, because we can say the system went wrong, right?
Right. It does become less of a personal failing if
Yeah.
I am told by central dispatch, okay, you should shoot this person.
Yeah, humans are going to make mistakes. Whereas if it, I think so. The big one was the gentleman. He had a backpack, and it was just after the July bombings, and he had a backpack, and he was asked to stop by the anti-terror unit, and he turned and he ran, and they shot him in the back, and it was awful.
I would at least call that a tough situation.
Exactly. But even though that's still a tough situation, the policeman had to ring it through, and it had gone up to the top layer of command and said, yes, you have to shoot him. And in some ways that protects the police as well. They're not actually they're not actually in a position where they have to make all the decisions.
Well, that's why, I mean, banning
We need
assault
to
weapons
ban
is a whole
assault
totally
weapons,
separate
yeah.
thing. There's a lot of people with a lot of opinions on that. I don't know. I mean, to be a little fair, I live in a fairly well-policed, fairly normal urban area. I don't know why anyone needs to own a gun. I've never needed to own a gun. I've never felt like I would be safer with a gun. Some people have different opinions. Our Constitution says that you're allowed to, to some degree, that we're allowed to have weapons. To some degree, that the people are allowed to arm themselves. The question of what degree, I don't know why anyone needs this stuff. And what bugs me the most is that there's this really entrenched opinion of people saying, like, this is the most important thing to me. Me having a gun is the most important thing to me. And it's just like, really? Like, really? Maybe you don't think that these guns are the real harm. Maybe you think there's other things we can do to help. But if you had to have no guns, that's the line? That's it? You think? Like, that's the end of society?
That's certainly more on my like understanding of how the police. Yeah, you could
it's
like paperwork for every bullet. Every bullet has to be scrutinized.
And it's crazy. You look at some of the other past police killings. You look at Amadou Diallo, if I'm pronouncing his name properly. This was years ago. 40-something rounds were fired. 40-something rounds. Like, this was not one guy panicked and fired one shot. 40-something rounds were fired at this person, and they were killed. What? And no accountability. No accountability for that. Even during these past riots, I had a guy. There was the police pulled up on a I think it was a Target that was being looted, and like, one of the looters decided, all right, that's it, I'm caught. So they got down on their knees and they put their hands up, saying, all right, well, I'm caught. That's it. Fine. I'm not gonna run from the police. Okay, that's their decision. Reasonable decision, frankly. Police officer in the car sees that he had a hammer tucked into his belt. When he raised his hands, his shirt lifted up. Police officer fires 5 rounds and kills the guy through the windshield of his car.
It's sick.
What is this? This is crazy. These are not situations. Again, the situation you described, Gemma, right after a terror attack, a man with a suspicious backpack is asked to stop and he runs away. Like, that's a situation where I can say, man, if I was a police officer there, I'd be thinking,
I wouldn't want to be.
Am I shooting an innocent guy, or am I letting a terror attack? Am I letting a bomb explode? I can at least comprehend the quandary there, the question there, the reasonable doubt that a person could have of what they should do.
Yeah.
But in a lot of these other situations, it's just like, how do I take the police seriously?
Yeah.
When this is how they behave and this is what happens, and then they go to court and they're acquitted. They're told, yeah, you must have been real scared. And this is the root of a lot of the anger. And again, I'm lucky because frankly, it's not my brother or sister or dad or mom who are going to get shot like that because they're white.
Well, lots of white people do get shot as well, but yes, unlikely, less likely.
Well, there are plenty of screwed up stories about white people getting shot too. That's true, but like,
And that's what I'm saying. You know, if we lift this problem out, everyone is going to benefit. The only people who benefit is everyone.
I mean, the biggest problem with that is there's a lot of problems with that. The gun legislation in the U.S. is crazy, and how people enforce it is crazy, and I'm not going to get into it because it's just madness.
Yeah, that's a whole other problem. Whereas I think the protests could really, hopefully,
Well, they're making traction. Various cities are defunding their police departments and
yeah, they
seeing what
could,
they can do about
and
getting rid of these police
they,
unions and like.
I hope that it makes changes across the globe. I mean, it's not just America where they've been protesting. There's been lots of protests here, and I hope that it raises awareness for a problem that is endemic in most of our
Yeah, I
societies.
mean, there's all these crazy stories. Like you hear the head of the police board in one city was like, "Oh, I think our police are showing great restraint," and then they kicked the shit out of him in the next protest. And he was like, "Well."
Yeah, it's there's lots of problems, and hopefully,
But these problems don't get addressed, and this is maybe a very USian thing as well. These problems don't get addressed until they actually make trouble. At the end of
yeah,
the day,
I know it's the same everywhere. You know, yeah, asking
everyone
nice.
everyone scowls and clicks their tongue and says, "Oh, that's not good," and nothing will change until
Like,
suddenly a bunch of people cause some actual trouble, and then it's like, "Oh my, oh my."
yeah, they're like, don't kneel. You can't kneel
Oh
on a piece of
God.
fabric. But
See, that's not
yeah,
okay. But like,
yeah, you can't protest like that, and you also can't riot. What can they do? What can people do if you don't want people to kneel down? Like, God damn it!
and the more like, and they had that whole thing up in Buffalo where like some of the riot police there knocked over this old guy and knocked him unconscious and injured him,
Uh, I
and now
saw that.
they're in trouble. And basically, what happened was the entire rest of that unit, 57 guys, all resigned. Now the headline was they resigned in solidarity because their guy got in trouble, but it's even funnier. They resigned because the police union said we're not going to cover your legal fees anymore. They
Oh my
resigned
God!
not because they cared about the guy who got in trouble, because they were told if you get in the situation where you are liable or you harm someone,
Yeah.
we are not going to take care of you. That's an interesting question, Buddock. Let me tell you something.
Mm.
Would you see organized crime and gangs being a problem? And this again, American perspective. I have nothing to say about other countries' police forces. I don't know much about them or I haven't really experienced them. For many cities in America, in many areas of America, the police are the gang. The
Mm.
police are the gang. They do what they want with acid forfeiture. They take what they want. If you cross them, they will get back at you, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's not going to be worse for a lot of people. And that's the problem. That's the big problem. I don't think NYPD is not being disbanded. LAPD is not being disbanded. Hopefully, they'll get some more accountability. We'll have better structures to make them accountable. And frankly, with the larger police forces, NYPD, LAPD, not that they're angels, but there's been so many incidents, there's been a much greater push on them to be accountable.
And you got to remember, like, so lots of these organized crime, actually, more police won't stop them. The better way to stop the way some of these organized criminal gangs are operating are better social systems.
To
So
some
lots
degree,
of
yeah.
people who get into these gangs are doing it because they don't have any money, they don't have any options, and they offered an option by drug dealers or whoever else, or they're recruited as teenagers when they know no better.
Yeah, it's like, why would I be a teacher? Why would I be a
Yeah,
teacher? Teachers get paid dirt, and they have to
yeah.
work a lot, and they have to buy supplies out of their own. What if being a teacher was like being in a gang? And I'm thinking to myself, why would I be in a gang? Like, I don't make a lot of money. I could get shot. Like, why would I do that?
You're always going to need police, but I think certainly a lot of the social problems we experience in the UK, probably the US, would be better fixed not by heavier policing, but by better education systems, better schools, better welfare nets.
It would be
That
nice.
you're better off treating the problem rather than the symptoms. Um,
Where's mineral water? I don't have any. Oh no!
right, we ranted for long enough about our opinions.
I need beehive chips. I gotta cook, man. I make honey out of 3 beehive chips. Let's do it.
They're total millennials. ADD. Can't talking about something serious and then we're back to gotta craft on my MMO.
I made honey, and I leveled up. I'm so good at this. All right, we have talked about a lot of things. Ooh, I need
And I
cinnamon and
won
allscoat
Mahjong.
milk
That
and
makes me
sunset.
happy.
And then I can make this frumenty.
Right, Dave, I'm going.
All right, we're gonna go. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a
Thank you
good chunk of
guys.
Mahjong. It's true. We need someone. We need conflict resolution that can be. We need conflict resolution that's non-violent. That's really what we need. Anyway, looks like the protests are dispersed. I gotta eat lunch. I'm gonna die of hunger. All right. See you all later.
See you
Thank
later,
you for joining
guys. Bye.
us.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody,
Bye.
and
Thanks
be
for talking.
safe. Fare thee well.